Okay, recording.
Alright, so it's been a while since our last game. So to recap, um, what did you do again?
We aggroed
You,
the entire dungeon.
of course, as you do. So
Clink and
that
Mac
was,
both died a couple times, or passed out.
yeah. So after you went through the dungeon where you found Krivkash's fancy sword, you took a nap and then you went to the cultist hideout that your friends in the high hall had found, because they saw a few vampire spawn go into them, if I recall correctly. So you went there, you posed as cultists, then within 30 seconds broke your disguise to murder everyone, which turned into a fight that lasted us two sessions, at the end of which we more or less stopped the session. So you are currently in this place, right after the fight ended.
I think the plan was, because we found out through all the letters that the leader of this cult was corresponding with someone in the market who is therefore basically a betrayer. So we wanted to find out who the betrayer was. Plan one was to wait here for about a day, hoping that one of the messengers between Mrs. Betrayer and this cult showed up so that we could capture that one, interrogate him, and or bring him alive as proof to the market. And if no messenger shows up after waiting for a day, in which we will have done then a long rest, we would go to the market ourselves. Krivkash prepares Zone of Truth, and then we just say to all the leaders there, please testify that you're innocent in our Zone of Truth. And whoever cannot testify is the traitor.
Should we do it on the
Second,
animals too? I mean, we've already known that there's some shapeshifters.
But it's at least someone who is known in the market because she's trying to, or he is trying to gain people's trust there. So it's not hidden in an animal form.
Everyone trusts a cat to some degree.
Yeah, but not because, oh, this district has less attacks than the other district. It must be because of this cat. Because that was the way they were trying to get. But if we don't find a humanoid traitor, then we can always look at the cats.
Probably the cat.
So I actually suggest we do a short rest now, because I think most of us are fairly wounded. And then we spend the rest of the day seeing if a messenger shows up.
thought the plan was to get a long rest in.
Yeah, I think it was a long rest.
Yeah, well, the point is more that it's currently like 10 in the morning, so you can't go to sleep yet, because
So I would
that's
do
not how
a
sleep works.
short, hoping we will get to do a long rest before we have to continue, but we can do a short rest just to start with, and then if a messenger shows up and he wants to fight, then at least we're not going to die immediately.
Yeah,
But I
because
would stay here until we could finish the entire long rest, of course.
yeah, you can only benefit from one long rest per 24-hour period.
Yeah, but that just means we stick around here until we have a long rest, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. But I would start with a short rest because there can be enemies before we get to our long rest. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, that's sort of just sitting around doing nothing is automatically counted as a short rest, I'd assume.
More or less. But
Well,
you still have to actually use the
Yeah.
hit dice and stuff if you want to heal.
Yeah, and I would, if we finish the short rest, if Mac agrees, I would put him on the outlook outside so that he can lock the door behind any eventual messenger that would show up.
You also have not actually looked around the place yet.
Oh, I thought we did.
Yes,
How did we find the
no.
letters that?
Because I fast forwarded because I gave you those so I could know what to prepare. But technically you haven't found them yet at this
Okay,
point.
okay, then we will do that first. I guess.
Yeah, after the short rest, before
Yeah.
we finish anything.
Okay,
And
so
we can move all the bodies out of the entry area, just in case the spy does come in. It won't be immediately obvious.
yes, a good idea.
And you can use prestidigitation to get rid of the bloodstains.
Yes, we do that. Do we
Okay.
do the short rest stuff now? I guess is DM agreeing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
I
will-
can. I'd like
you are
to.
fine for short rest.
Okay, then I will recover short rest stuff. I do
A
not
lot of,
recover my temporary hit points that the vampire stole on a short
Corn, you're
rest.
getting a lot of
So that's
feedback
a
on
long
this.
rest.
Okay, so I still have lost those.
Same here.
Yeah, and Krivkash used his Channel Divinity and Darius used his spell slot, so it's just hit dice and your class features.
Yes.
And of course, Song of Rest.
What's the annoying background? Is it ambience?
That's Corn's connection. That's
Yeah,
creating
no,
some.
my headset is acting up. Give me a minute, I'll get another one.
You can do your short rest in the meantime.
Yes.
What's the
Yes.
Song of Rest bonus?
1d6.
D6.
If you use a hit die, of course.
Per hit die or just once?
Once.
One. Tapping words is per short rest, so I can also recover that.
Huh. My screen showed me a 4, but I rolled a 6. Oh, nope, there it is. Wow. Jeez. That was a tough battle.
Well, we did take on the whole dungeon at once.
Yeah.
I mean, true. I mean, that doesn't make it any less of a tough battle.
Yeah. Well, you're still alive, so it's fine.
It's fine. We're completely fine.
Gisela still does not have a lot of hit points.
Yes, I use 3 hit dice. If I use more, then I can't recover them all.
Yeah.
That's
Which-
okay.
That's
Is
a
it that you've-
problem.
So practically speaking, you only have half of your total because you never want to use those.
Yes, because I'm expecting we can do a long rest pretty shortly, so.
Okay.
But I may be expecting things wrong. Who knows?
Who knows?
Mac also has only half hit points.
Test?
Test.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yahoo! It works! Yay!
Sound.
Yeah, it's not my smartphone and Bluetooth headset and blah
I
for
keep rolling
workaround.
very low on my hit die. I keep rolling 3. always roll 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
Which means I'm
you
basically
a
rolling a
druid?
2.
Hello.
Almost.
Oh.
So even
Hello.
using more hit dice doesn't really do all that much if I
Yeah.
just roll crap.
There's also to keep in mind that Darius gets his spell slots back after he hit a short rest. So in theory, you could short rest just constantly and then cast 2 healing spells and then wait another hour.
Don't
Yes.
you only get like 3 short rests in a day though?
No, the extra rule I made is that you can do 3 short rests in a day that are shorter than an hour.
Huh.
You can still take a normal one if you actually have an hour.
Okay.
Is there a secret passage here?
Well, this passage seems to lead further into other underground rooms. And as someone who lives in Eltrel, you are aware that there's a fair bit of underground sewers, cellars, and corridors that connect to each other. So you suspect it leads further into that.
That does explain why the guy was running there, because it looked like a dead end.
Max
Yeah.
will actually try and hide so that he doesn't alarm anybody in his scouting. And I think I'm hidden.
What was the bonus for Gisela's
1d6.
healing thing? 1d6.
1d6 because I tell you a bedtime story. There's a lot of
Okay.
doors over here.
Yeah, so these are indeed 2 doors.
Do we first clean up all the bodies? I
3
would
doors.
say yes. Can we
You can
first
just
clean up
put
the
the
bodies?
bodies all into the sleeping bags and then they appear where I sleep.
Oh, that's a good idea, Ko. Do we
Actually,
do it?
yeah,
Can we
let's do that. Yeah,
You
let's
can
put
do
the.
that.
Yes. We put them all in the sleeping beds, and if there are not enough sleeping bags, then 2 of them have to share.
Okay, that's very, very, very intimate. Okay, that's not a body.
Well, obviously if there's not enough sleeping bags for everyone, then they were intimate because couldn't have
Or-
otherwise happened.
Or they
Or
slept
they were
in
hot
Or
shifts.
they could have
bunking.
been hot bunking.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
if you're sleeping separately, then you're still sleeping in someone else's bed.
Or we could have
Okay,
hidden
there are-
inside of a sleeping bag and ambush anybody that comes this way.
We could do that, but we were first going to.
Are
Yeah.
you putting the devils in sleeping bags as well?
Yes.
Why
I
not?
thought they evaporated.
Kind of.
And the
Are
imps can share a sleeping bag.
They can lay on top. Like a cat.
Or they can all go on the toilet.
Yeah, toilet.
All the devils have to be on the toilet. They all got a bunch of diarrhea.
Okay.
And then they fought because there were not enough toilet holes for everyone, and that's why they're now dead.
And that's why you need
Okay.
someone with prestidigitation, or what's that spell called?
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation. Thank you.
Wait, this is not a devil. Okay. So, a decent amount of people are cozy. Because there are not enough sleeping bags for everyone to sleep at the same time.
That's okay, they're friends. They can sleep together.
Okay, and you clean up further as you said as well, I assume.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe while we are exploring, at least someone has to kind of hold guard at the entrance.
I will do that.
Okay.
What are you going to do if someone comes? Are you going to give us a signal? Do I just have to keep using message to you, and then you can answer whenever you want?
Doesn't the message have a range of 100 feet or something?
120.
120 feet.
I'll just send
That's-
Krivkash Jr.
Okay.
up there.
Yeah, there
It's
we go.
not the entire dungeon.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
yeah,
Krivkash
let's
Jr.
just have-
can come along.
Let's have Krivkash Jr. actually stand guard then.
Yeah.
There's no point in both of us if he's up there.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll for Krivkash Jr. just in case.
Oh.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Could he hide
Okay.
in one of the
Not very
boxes?
Exploring.
You see a door at the end of the corridor.
I knock on the door.
You hear a knocking sound.
Okay, I open the door.
Okay. The door opens in what seems to be a small sanctuary of some sort. There's a table that looks like it has been stolen from somewhere, with a small statue of an angelic figure and 2 candles and some more candles lighting the room.
Max sees a door. He knocks on this door.
I open the door.
Door's still not open.
You
Oh, the
found
dot is.
Gisela. There's also a door here and here, which you would have noticed.
Yes.
I checked this door. Is it locked?
No.
I carefully open it.
You find crates.
Think pokes around in this room.
Yeah, okay, one thing at a time.
Yeah, because we love splitting the party.
Yeah,
Yes,
But-
exactly.
I cannot split my eye. So, first, Mac.
Why do you have
find-
2 eyes?
Yes, nevertheless. It's so I can see all the 2D art in 3D.
I think someone needs a bigger monitor for the next holiday.
I also need a bigger desk and a bigger living room then,
And a wall mount at that, too.
probably, and a wall. My desk is not against the wall.
Then a desk mount arm. Those things work wonders.
How the hell do you have a desk that isn't against a wall? That's just insane.
It's perpendicular to the wall, so it's the side is against the wall, but not the desk
Oh, well,
itself.
then you just need one of those swing out TV mounts. Those
Yeah,
work
there you go.
wonders.
Possibly. Anyway, so there are a bunch of chests in this room,
Which room? The one that Mac is
the
in?
one that Mac is currently in.
I carefully search them.
Okay, they don't seem to be dangerous. Most of them just have the basic stuff the cultists need, so clothes, food, torches, crossbow bolts, some stuff to sharpen daggers. But one of the chests seems to have stuff which is worth money, which you suspect they may have stolen from other people. Namely this.
I will mark it in at the end of the session.
Okay.
How many daggers? I mean, that's the real question, right?
That's a good question. 5
What? 5 daggers?
daggers.
Ah, I
And-
thought spy like 2.14 daggers.
No.
You have
Yeah,
weird circles if pi is 2.13, 2.14 for you.
I mean, we're in hell. It might be space might be curved weirdly.
Yes.
You can never actually accurately measure the lost port.
Okay. In the meantime, Link is poking around the other room, where he notices a desk and some other tables and paperwork, where he finds the correspondence that you have already received the last session.
Link is mightily tempted to eat it, but he refuses to screw the party over today.
Mac distracts Clink from eating it by providing him by letting him know there's plenty of clothes in the other storage room.
Clink's gonna have to put on another 10 pounds of clothes.
Oh, right. Now before I forget, while putting away the bodies, you would have noticed that the leader of the cultists had a enchanted spear.
So you're coming across with a lot of echo.
I heard
Okay.
enchanted beer.
Spear.
It was a spear.
Spear. Okay.
Yeah.
Lance. Spear.
Spear. Lands is something else.
Pointy stick.
Mac also tells Clink that there's a unknown enchanted spear that he could probably use.
He doesn't use a spear.
Yeah,
It's
but
not.
it's enchanted. We don't know what it is. He can be our canary. Clink likes dealing with unknown magical things.
That is true. Clink does enjoy doing
Canary.
that bit.
Dino,
It's just a big grumpy canary.
Dino suddenly adds a curse onto the spear. No. So, you find the correspondence which you have already had. You also find the map which I mentioned, which has several annotations on it. As I noted before, some being places you have been, one place which we marked on the map in the left district, one on the marketplace, and one on the dock house, and one marking the dock region as there being demons. And other than that, there are a few scrolls and potions in the desk.
Okay. 2 potions of healing. Anybody want those, or should I, before we say that, we add them to the party loot?
I would add them to the party. I think everyone has their supply, or not.
Okay, I know that a few healing potions were used, so I was wondering if anybody wanted to restock theirs.
Oh, right. Who's were used?
Clink probably needs to. I think he'll. Oh, well, he's got 2 of them. At the bottom.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and take those 2 then, Clink, and that way I just won't add them to the party loot.
Okay, that'll be easier.
Okay.
That 2d6 plus 2, right?
2d4 plus 2.
Oh, 2d4. Mine was just 2 plus 1. 2 plus 2.
Stupid question. Even though they're minor, they're just regular healing potions, not greater ones. Can we, like, empty the contents into a larger container so that when drinking one, you basically drink 2 at once?
So you can chuck them.
Yeah.
That's not going to enable you to drink any faster.
Okay. Can we... Does Mac have the knowledge to create, like, one of those beer hats that has, like, that can hold, like, 2 drinks with a straw?
Well, I
Just
mean,
a trickle feed of hit points.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's the aim in this specific.
To get 1 action, 2 healing potions.
Well, if you
I think.
have you guys ever used like a camel
Sounds like a
pack or
bad
something like
combo.
that? Where you basically have a camel pack like bikers use or
Yeah.
long distance runners use. That way you don't actually use an action to drink it.
The limiting factor is not so much the fact that you have it in a bottle as so much as your drinking speed.
Okay.
Infusion out of it. Can we just pump it directly into his veins?
I'm
Like-
not sure that's healthy.
Well, when you only have
Like-
I think we need to start rolling on the wild magic table if you start doing things like that.
I'm down for that.
or a quick injection bladder up his other end.
Hey, when
A
you are,
reverse diapet and you just squeeze to push it in.
you know, it sounds stupid, but when you're at death's door, you do anything you can to at least stabilize yourself.
Uh-huh. Alright, so that's about the limit of what you can find in this room.
Okay, Mac keeps looking around.
Okay.
There was a couple doors down this way, right?
No, this is another long corridor that also leads further into the maze under the city. So more rooms, but nothing that seems to be related to the cultists. But a way out if you would want to use it as such.
Do we get another short rest before anyone arrives?
That is not a thing you currently know.
Okay.
Do you need another short rest?
Well then, Mac could, Darius could use some healing spells.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you did not take any way to become clairvoyant and thus know at which point enemies arrive.
Okay, then we don't do that.
Okay, Mac finds a room with some tables and some games on them, and some fairly nasty stains on the floor, which is otherwise empty.
What sort of games?
I think it's chess and a package of cards.
Mac takes the package of cards.
Okay, you now have an extra packet of cards.
Because dice and cards, that will work out well. At some point. Maybe, maybe not.
Who knows?
Since we are technically under Elturel, and Elturel is still descending into hell, does that mean the ground still kind of rumbles from time to time?
Occasionally, yeah.
Were there any doors that we haven't checked out yet?
I think you've seen everything now. Yeah, you've been everywhere.
There's one sleeping bag that's not even used.
Someone was standing on top of that one, I think.
I'd say we all
There
could
you
fit
go.
in it to ambush someone, but that probably would be a little uncomfortable.
I think it's more useful if we're not ambushing someone from inside a sleeping bag. I think that's not very practical.
Yeah. I also fairly sure that the 5 of you do not fit in a sleeping bag.
I'm not sure even just Krivkash fits in a sleeping bag with his armor.
And there's no way I'm
Well-
sharing one with Clink.
Well, you appear to all sleep in your armor, so Krivkash must fit in one.
No,
But
he just sleeps on top.
He has his own extra large
Extra large sleeping bag
XXL sleeping bag.
with a special cutout for his shield.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay. What do you do?
We wait for Mr. Messenger.
we can
Okay,
disguise ourselves as cultists. I mean,
We are already disguised as cultists. That's how we got in.
okay, so
Yes, you are.
Oh, but we can now find another outfit for Mac because we had one too little.
that's right. I'm assuming that in the storeroom of all the clothes, I'll probably find a spare cultist outfit and mask that fit me.
Yeah. And if not on one of the dozen dead cultists that you have lying around in the backpack. The sleeping bag.
The backpack.
Backpack.
We just carry our own one backpack with
Yeah.
all the dead people.
Yeah, but I don't want to use one that's already been bloodied.
Fair enough. Well, you find a spare one, which after some amendment by Gisela fits, because before that it kind of draped 3 feet over the ground.
Yes, I am a super fast Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
We can all act like we're the cultists here in the room.
Yeah,
That way, whoever comes, we can be like, yeah.
can Lulu come nearby? Maybe
Can.
behind a closed door so the mentors would see her immediately, but
Have her
she
hide
can
under
like
the
this.
table.
or under the table. Yeah, let her just hide under the table.
That's not going to be noticeable at all.
Not if we go sit on this side.
Or use one of the robes as a
Ho-
tablecloth.
A hoppling-sized elephant under a table. Nobody
Yes,
can see
yes,
that.
we have a tablecloth over it.
Okay, sure. You
Oh,
make a very ugly tablecloth from several black rope.
Yes.
oh yeah,
Drape it
that's
over
right.
the table.
There was a guard up front, so Mac is going to pose like he's a guard.
Okay.
So he's just kind of sitting on one of the crates with his crossbow out, like he's
There were actually 2 guards out.
they may not know that.
Doesn't matter.
If they come by, I'll just be like, yeah, he's in the can. There was some bad food poisoning.
Okay.
Okay.
So Clink is still standing in the middle of somewhere.
Uh,
Clink
that
never joins the party, I
Oh,
guess.
yes,
Okay.
sorry.
No,
Clink has
that's
not
normal.
been paying enough attention.
Clink standing in the middle of somewhere is normal, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, is there anything else you want to do?
Play a game to kill the time.
Okay, so let's see. So 4 hours pause, which you may use to do some short rests and some spell slots if you want to.
Can I get some healing, Darius?
Yes.
7,
Wow.
or is it 12? Wait,
That's 19,
Oh.
right?
what?
Yeah,
19,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the advantage of upcasting everything to 4th level.
Okay, and I can't get that much, so I'm fully healed. It's can get to
Alright, I'm 4th level
This
spells
much.
now.
Yeah,
Jeez.
level 7.
if you have another spell slot, you can heal Mac as well, I guess.
There you go, Mac.
Jesus! 27. I didn't know I had that many hit points.
Well, Mac, did you have also?
Well, you exactly have 27 hit points.
Did you have that because you had a lower maximum from the vampire as well, right?
Yeah, that would actually put me above my maximum, even if I wasn't lowered.
But your maximum is lowered, so.
Yeah, so I'm at 46 instead of 52.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I was basically
So-
using, I put my max as negative temporary hit points, so it doesn't show up.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it won't show up, but it'll also be a way for me to remember it.
Yeah, my max is just 45, and I have -8 from the vampire. I don't even remember being attacked by the vampire.
You were.
Yeah, probably I was because
But
I
it's-
have a
But
-8.
it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Did
Alright.
Clink get attacked by a vampire, or is he normally just that low?
I think he's normally just that low.
Okay.
That's the disadvantage of having a d6 hit die and 10 constitution.
To be fair,
So-
he makes up for it when we need it with that damage.
Fair enough. So, after those 4 hours pause, you hear some sounds from the upside. From the ground floor. And eventually someone knocks on the thing the hatch. That's the word. The hatch above the ladder here.
Mac cautiously approaches while he signals to Krivkash Jr. to relay a message to the others.
Krivkash Jr. does so.
Okay.
Mac slowly raises the hatch to peek around.
Okay, you see a figure who's robed in a dark cloak as to hide his face. The figure says to you, Prince Bizariel.
Mac nods silently, opens up the hatch the rest of the way, and stands to the side.
Okay. The figure climbs down the ladder.
Mac closes the hatch behind him.
Was he the only one out?
Yes. And he says to you, well, I have a letter for your leader.
Mac just points towards the opening, keeping his eyes on the figure. I know I'm behind a mask, so he can't exactly see me narrow my eyes at him.
Okay, he nods and goes look towards the thingy here.
And Mac just acts like he's returning to his post.
Did you lock the hatch?
Actually, yeah, I'll lock the hatch behind him, and then I'll return to my post. You want a Thieves' Tools check on that?
Sure.
Kind of looks like a vampire. That's too bad because then we
The
won't.
hatch is locked.
Yeah.
Oh. The figure proceeds into this room, nods at you, and then asks which way is your leader?
I'll leave it.
Eh,
Giselle, you got a high.
I really want to.
Yeah. What are we going to tell her?
Who said who's about to
point.
start talking?
Tell him to go
She's,
to the south door.
she's
Yeah,
I point to the south.
You know, you
This-
might be able
the
to
door
grab.
next to Clink.
Krivkash could probably grapple him before he
So
knows what's
what-
going on. You
What
guys
did you
decide.
say?
I point to the south door next to Clink.
Okay. He nods and proceeds towards that door.
And then I shoot him in the back
Okay.
when he's out of the range from the Lulu.
When he's right next to Clink?
Yes.
Yes. You know me.
We'll
I'm
end
nearly.
up there anyway, so
Oh yeah, he's
Actually-
probably going to just thunderstep.
No. I don't have a thunder step left.
Oh yeah, that's
Clink-
right.
Clink just goes straight to the enemies anyway, so you don't.
Did you already use your arcane recovery?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay. Why have you not?
I forgot about it.
Okay, well,
Oh man, the fact Clink is first is just going to be stabby.
okay.
Once-
Mac is first, I think.
Nah, I didn't have myself selected, so I re-rolled it.
Ah, okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
So
4,
basically,
5.
the guy goes past Clink and then Clink attacks.
Apparently so.
Clink wasn't even going to do that this time, but you forced his hand.
We did.
You forced his hand neck deep into him. God damn, I hate you. She
Well-
won't shut up.
We all know that Clink always wants to do this sort of thing, so we thought we'd give him a chance to actually enjoy it.
Looks like all my attacks have gone from dex to strength on my character sheet.
God damn it, roll 20. Not all of them?
I've just set them back. That's all.
Okay, well. Weird. Anyway. Thing. You are the first to react. You notice Gisela is going to attack your new friend.
Does this count as a sneak attack?
You are not a rogue, so no.
yeah, I get it. How do we... Fuck it. Stabbing. That should have been with booming blade, because I forgot about that.
You've been with what?
Booming blade.
It should have been with the booming blade.
Okay. 18 hits, so roll the damage for the booming blade separately then.
Okay,
Oh
boomer.
wait, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
Okay.
That's the one that should have been added to it.
Okay, so that's... Okay, so that's 8 plus 8, 15 points of damage, and he has a booming blade on him.
Can I get my second swing without the fire? then I
18
use my
also hits,
bonus action to stab him.
Jeez.
and a 9 also hits, so that's another 2 stabs in quick succession.
And then I run down the corridor.
Is this considered a surprise round?
Sure.
Then, if that's the case,
Such a
Clink
good
probably
little
doesn't
cat.
want to move.
Why not?
Because if it's a
He's
surprise
got
round,
another turn.
you're going to get another turn before he does.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. One sec, I'm gonna go kill the cat. You can keep going from here.
What? He's gonna go kill the cat?
I understood something else, but who knows?
So Mac moves up to here. Going to use my bonus action to hide.
Let's see. You are hit.
Okay. After how bad the fight was before, Mac doesn't want to take any chance. So he is going to use his scatter shot. And walloping too. On both hits, on both shots. I know I have to mark that beforehand, so okay. First attack.
Hopefully he doesn't die.
13 doesn't hit.
Okay, second attack. I'm going to go ahead and enable sneak attack because it either hits or it doesn't.
That is generally something that 14 also does not hit.
Wow. Okay.
Your 2 bolts smack into the wall. As he nimbly dodges between them. Darius.
First off, you should feel bad that you missed with both shots, because that means Clink has better damage output than you do when Clink is just in melee range with no spells.
Melee is actually better right now because we don't want to kill him.
Probably.
Yeah. On the subject of not killing him, I'm not sure how many options I really have. How's he looking?
Still fairly healthy.
Okay, fair enough.
I just threatened him to surrender.
Okay, 13 misses, 23 hits, takes 6 force damage.
No movement.
Okay,
No point.
his turn comes around, but he is surprised. Krivkash.
Walk closer. Up to here. And I grapple him. That he can move away if he tries to.
Okay.
If I find my athletics, if I remember correctly.
Indeed.
Bro.
I'm not
But yeah.
sure why that's with advantage, but okay. You're also rolling to the GM, by the way. He is going to try and rolls a critical one to not be grappled, so he is grappled.
Basically, how can I move him? I can only drag him and not rotate him around me, right?
Generally, yeah. And you move at half movement speed.
Oh.
Hmm?
Move a bit to the side so he is not directly in front of the door anymore. It has to spend a little more thinking and movement to do that.
Okay.
And that's my action.
Okay. Gisela,
How damaged does he look already?
still fairly healthy.
Okay, then I can shoot without a problem. One miss, one hit.
Indeed. So, 8 force damage on the blast of force. And blink, top of the round. Elver? I'm not sure if you're saying anything, Silver, but you're muted.
He's still busy doing something with his cat.
Okay, then we wait.
Elemental music.
A wild fox appears. Silver? Yeah, wild fox appears.
That's only for monsters.
So I'm back. Had to get the baby. She was crying. Oh, right. How healthy is he looking?
Still pretty healthy.
I'm just wondering if I do a blade song or not. Probably not worth it. Step forward. Booming stabby. Not booming stabby. Extra stabby.
Okay, now none of those hits, so you try to stab him, but he parries your attacks and dodges the last one.
And then I'll dive up here.
Okay. Should also roll initiative for Lulu. Seems like a logical thing to do.
Can we see if the cloaked figure has any weapons?
You can, because at the end of Klink's turn, he draws a short sword.
Oh, it's the bossy fight.
And then tries to attack Krivkash with it. With a critical miss, so just clangs into his plate. Also no longer has Booming Blade on him.
Okay. Mac is going to use his bonus action to give himself advantage. He is going to use
Okay.
Scatter Shot again. And he is... yeah. So, first attack. Oh, gotta give myself advantage.
20 hits.
Okay, second attack. Oh my god, that was so lucky.
20 also hits.
So, sneak attack, just gonna roll that. Since it doesn't matter which one it's on.
Okay. So that's 16.
Both of those 20s
23,
apparently
14.
were due to my halfling luck.
Indeed. Indeed. Impressive. Okay, so that's a total of 53 damage.
How's he looking now?
A lot less healthy, but he's still standing. He can take the solid bolts to the shoulder, but doesn't seem to bleed terribly much either, which is slightly concerning.
Someone was doing a testing. Nope. Guess I'm hearing things.
Mike with my finger. You don't hear me talk with your girlfriend.
Hey, at the end of his turn, he stares at Krivkash and you feel a chill around your heart as he does so. Make me a wisdom save.
Safe, Mr. Safe. Mr. Safe.
Save. It's not enough. You are frightened of the vampire. Which you also now notice that it's a vampire.
I was thinking that.
Now you
Someone
can
has to
see him
get the bag of holding ready.
Yeah, we wanted to keep him alive, but maybe a vampire is too dangerous to take prisoner.
Definitely. Let's just purge.
Okay. Darius. What?
You went quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put my mic down.
Well,
Yeah, that would do it, right?
yeah.
If he's a vampire and we don't want him escaping, then clearly the thing I should do is come up here and then deploy a flaming sphere.
Well, we can kill vampires now because we have Krivkash's sword that emits daylight, right?
Oh, right.
Was that daylight as the spell or daylight as real daylight?
It's sunlight.
Sunlight, yeah.
The whole point is kind of that it can kill vampires.
Yes. And I will ram him with it.
Okay. So that's the dex save for half damage if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Okay. 18, so he takes half damage. 5 radiant damage.
Yeah.
Half damage. Ah, yeah, it's because I
Yeah,
was only
six.
counting the 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So his turn comes around. He does not regain hit points at the start of his turn because of the radiant damage. He tries to uses his action to try and escape the grapple. So
Would Krivkash automatically let go if he's frightened of him?
no, but he has disadvantage on ability checks while he can see the vampire, so he has disadvantage on the athletics check. So, Krivkash, give me an athletics check with disadvantage.
Ouch.
Nope. He rolled a 24, so he frees himself from the grapple. What's he going to do then? Right. He can do that. Okay. He runs straight towards the wall, then straight up the wall, and then runs furtherwards over the ceiling, which takes him about, let's say, 15 feet of movement, and then moves another 15 feet of movement over the ceiling towards here. It's a
Damn it.
very peculiar sight.
He does that beside Krivkash. Does Krivkash
Yeah,
not
so
get an attack opportunity?
Yeah, Krivkash gets an attack of opportunity, but with disadvantage because of the frightened. Okay, 19 still hits,
Nice.
but without the booming blade.
It off before I clicked.
Okay, so Vampire takes 9 damage, including some radiant. Okay, and that's his turn. Krivkash.
What can I do against being frightened?
You get a new saving throw at the end of every turn.
Okay.
End of every
So-
turn?
End of every turn. And while you are frightened, you cannot willingly move closer to the source of your fear.
So 10, 15. Great. I move there,
We know the layout
And-
of this thing.
and I throw light spitter at him.
Okay. It misses.
So that was my action. He's probably going to run a bit, and I have nothing that I can do on a bonus action that would actually do something to him. Oh wait, spiritual weapon I can cast.
Indeed.
So if I can find it, that's my spiritual weapon. Oop. And I smack him with it.
Okay.
Without
8.
disadvantage, I guess.
No, that's also with disadvantage. You're still making an attack roll. But either way, an 8 does not hit. Okay.
My saving throw is what? Wisdom?
Wisdom. Would not have been with disadvantage, but an 8 is not enough.
Continue screaming.
At the end of your turn, he draws a hand crossbow and fires it at you. But you just in time manage to raise your shield and it plings off. It was a 22 hit.
Nice.
Voila.
I guess someone will have to go around, but I don't think we will be fast enough because he can run on every one of our turns. Because we know the layout of this dungeon, so in theory we could intercept. Klink, do you have any spells left?
I have a first level spell slot, and that's it.
And do you want to use that still?
I can. How much movement did he have?
It looked like
He
about
moved-
30-ish.
Probably
Yeah.
30.
Well, remember, I have a base of 40 and can pump that up to 50 at the moment. So I can keep up with him.
And he's
Do you
going to be
have
going down
spells
a...
left, Darius?
Yes, I have one.
He's also going down a straight hallway that we might be able to do some yoinking.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of turning someone into a fabulous animal. Probably into a giant ape. So I'm thinking Clink or Darius probably best because Krivkash is frightened, so
Keep in mind
Oh,
that
what's
giant creatures may have trouble fitting through these corridors.
that's true, but I don't have small creatures saved, I think.
I mean, I am, and so
Why
is
don't I
Clink.
have small creatures?
Because you thought big creatures were fun.
Yeah, I have a frog, but that's more for the enemy.
Could we utilize Krivkash Jr. to maybe try and sting him?
That would be an idea.
Or do we know if they're immune to those type of things? I know we fought a couple at this point.
It's poison. Are they immune to poison?
Have you used poison on a vampire before?
I don't know.
Can't
I think
remember.
so.
Okay, give me a religion check.
Mac isn't religious. His deity is gone.
Okay, Darius, you remember that many undead are immune to poison, but vampires are not one of those.
I can always fairy fire it. It's a pretty simple spell.
So, Gisela, you said that you had a spell that turns someone into a giant ape. Does it turn them into a giant ape, or does it just make them a size or two larger?
It turns them into a giant ape or into a brontosaurus or into a giant shark, which it's completely useful or useless right now, or into a mammoth, or into a frog, but frogs are not useful. That's more for turning an enemy into a frog. I could try and turn him into a frog. Then he has
A
a saving
frog.
throw. And basically, if you kill the frog, then he just turns back into his vampire form. So
Aren't vampires like shapeshifters or something? Would it even matter? I could have sworn that we dealt with something like that when we were trying to capture the mist.
That would be another religion check.
another religion check. Come on.
Mac remembers that a kind old lady once told him stories about vampires, and they mentioned that vampires can turn into bats as well as mist.
Yeah, so I cannot turn him into a frog because he is a shapeshifter. Has no effect on shape changes. Okay, but I should
It'll
search
be resisted anyway.
non-big. Yeah, he probably would make the saving throw anyway. So I think I'll just do fairy fire.
How far does Mage Hand carry?
30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not really far.
It's only £5 too, so it's not really worth it. Generally.
Okay, I'll just cast fairy fire on him. It's
Okay.
60 feet. Yeah, I can reach that. I cannot move the thing, but I don't want to put Krivkash in it.
In that case, you're probably going to have to move a bit.
I'll move a bit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, so he makes a dexterity saving throw, I think. Rolls a 20 on his dex save.
Ah, okay. No fairy fire.
My fire sphere is now enveloped in light. It's like when your shaders break.
Probably. Okay.
Even
Lulu.
more glowing.
Lulu is going to move a bit, so you're all in the sphere, although he has not cast any spells so far.
I like the idea that she's still under the table. It's just the table is hovering.
Also, she's completely ignoring Clink. Yes, everyone is now in the sphere. It's okay.
Oh, and at the end of your turn, he's going to move.
If he escapes, he's probably going to warn Mrs. Traitor.
going to move a little further into the hallway. Think.
I think you can't do a lot that way because there's fireball in the way. And that's when I enter a sphere, right?
I think it's when you end your turn next to it.
Normally, yes,
which-
but we have rules so far for both you and enemies that if you run straight through it, that you also take damage.
How far can you move the
Yeah.
flaming sphere per turn?
I think it's 30 feet.
It's not gonna catch up
20,
with the
I think it's
vampire.
25 or 20, but
Yeah, if it's confirm that because if it's less than 30, there's no point.
It's
And
30.
I may as well. Okay, so you can get it to his square, but you can't bounce it into him.
I can bounce it into him.
Does it just have to land beside him? Okay, in
Yeah.
which case I want to go the other way. I want to use my blade song. Which do we even have a blade song icon?
you just change your token to the other
Yeah.
AC one and then we remember.
Because I need that 50 foot of movement.
You know, I probably should have locked that door before.
Oh, wait, that's not where I wanted to
Toilets?
go.
That's
That's
the
a
wrong one.
toilet.
You know, I probably should have locked that door
Where'd that
before we
start from?
actually before we started waiting for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it there?
Why didn't we
I
block all
think
the
so.
other exits?
That must have been.
We're pretty
Because
stupid.
hindsight is
Um,
2020.
Yeah.
And then I'm using my action as a dash to go 100 foot.
Okay,
Bouncing on Clink.
Link is a very fast boy.
Yes. If I had a haste spell slot, I could have got that up to 150 foot.
Jeez. How does that extend if you do a stabbing attack?
So what?
Does that don't you get extra movement if you stab someone?
No. No,
Okay.
I can move without getting a attack opportunity.
Can
Yeah,
you
you-
remove the fairy fire?
Okay. The end of your turn, he's going to move a bit further.
I wasn't expecting him to parkour over my sphere.
Yes, I can imagine that.
I'm most vexed.
It is a very vexing enemy. Okay, Mac.
Can you turn off the sphere at any moment?
Can drop concentration at any moment, but then the sphere is gone.
So
Yeah, I
he
don't think-
escaped into the next room. I think my best option would be to follow in Clink's footsteps to try and get him back up. So I'm going to move my 25
I
feet
think
of.
I think the best option is going after him, but the fire is in the way.
Well, the thing is, I can't really
Hello.
go after him. I'll probably get 1 or 2 shotted.
Well, it's that, or we let him get away, because I'm going after him, remember?
Yeah, so that's using my movement, my action to dash, and bonus action to dash.
Okay.
Still less movement speed than I have.
Yeah, I mean, if I take... well, I only have a base movement speed of 25.
He's a halfling. He has
Yeah.
small legs.
Yeah.
You have less movement speed using your bonus and your normal action to dash than I do just using my normal speed, regardless of my blade song.
I know.
Okay.
Only by 5 foot in that case, but still.
Yeah, I'm 3 feet, remember?
At the end of your turn, he tries to do something, but you still hear him move from somewhere over here. There he is.
I I can move the flaming sphere through the spiritual weapon, right?
Yeah,
That
neither of
doesn't
them
actually
are
help.
neither of them are corporeal, so
That doesn't actually help.
it's something.
Unless he decides to wait around there, I don't think that's going to be useful anymore.
I just realised something. If we had locked the doors, he would have just misted through them because you can do that.
Yeah.
And then we would have been delayed by the
But
doors.
he's only missed when he dies without the sword of
No.
Krivkash.
No, I think they can turn into a mist any time. Like they can turn into a bat.
I think so.
I don't know. Otherwise, I think they only turn into a mist when they're escaping, or when they're dead.
I should check on their mistingness.
That's because you missed him.
Probably another religion check, but Think does not appear to know.
I also don't know.
Everyone rolls religion checks,
Yeah.
just for fun.
Don't worry, Mac doesn't know either. Well, at least for once, the rules agree with what.
Krivkash does not know either, even without disadvantage. Okay, so Darius,
I think that's all I can do here.
you used your bonus action and your movement, but not your action, I think.
Correct. I mean, I guess I could dash up to here.
That's an option.
No, it was not to, I suppose.
Okay. Alright, then his turn comes around. He has taken radiant damage, so he does not regain any hit points. He uses a bonus action to hide, which succeeds. So you lose track of him for a bit until he peeps around the corner and fires a crossbow at Darius with advantage, which is a 24 to hit.
Goodbye, Darius.
That's 24 to hit, so I would need to reduce it by 6.
Is he within range?
I don't know. Cutting words is 60 feet. No, probably not.
It's
Yes.
45. Wait, do you have to be in
yeah,
range of Darius or
It-
the source?
I think
Yeah,
the source.
The source, which
Okay.
is
So I'm too far.
65.
I'm too far.
Okay, in that case, Darius takes not how much?
We don't know.
Okay, 30 piercing damage.
30? Okay.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Neat. And I'm going to do the hellish rebuke.
Okay. Okay, dex save is an 11, so he takes 25, I assume, radiant damage in
Yes.
Nice.
response. And I also need you to roll a Constitution saving throw to keep your concentration on the flaming sphere.
No.
Nope.
Ah, well, it was fun while it lasted.
That done, he uses his movement to move a bit further away. Krivkash.
Can't exactly do much when I can't move closer to him.
That is true.
What was the movement range of my spiritual weapon? 30? 20.
I think 20.
10, 20, and I just stand there screaming and get out of the way.
Okay, roll me another wisdom save at the end of your turn. Still no. Aren't you proficient in these? Why are you rolling so low? Okay.
6.
Because
Yeah.
the last fight wasn't long enough.
Okay, at the end of your turn, he uses an action to do something, which is hiding, which does not work, because he did not roll high enough. Isella.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll first go closer because otherwise there's not really a lot that I can do. I can remove the fairy fire here.
Well, it's yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything, but also doesn't really make sense to keep it on the map.
I generally keep it around because the objects that are in that thing also give off light during the
As
concentration.
long as I keep concentrating, and why would I keep concentrating on
I
that?
don't know. Because it's fun. It's funky lighting.
How much did I actually already? 15 foot. Let's just try fairy fire again. I'll aim at this square because I'm hoping he's still in the range of that one. Spells and AoE. I'm aiming my fairy fire at the corner square so that he will still be in range, I hope.
He's not.
Okay.
You have heard him run further away than you can put that fairy fire.
Oh, I heard that. Okay.
Yeah, he failed to sneak, so he's somewhere around here.
Then I guess I'll just run further. So 1. This is a 2. That's it.
Okay. End of your turn, he tries to hide again. And succeeds. So you suddenly don't hear him anymore. Not entirely sure where he went.
Even if they hide, can we still hear it all? I mean, I know it's technically like disadvantage, right? Or do we have to see them first in order to break the stealth that they have?
Yeah, if you manage to get him in direct line of sight and he's no longer hidden, just like it works for you.
Okay.
Lulu comes and joins you, since you're all nice and in the corridor. Think.
Intercept him.
Yes, Clink is going to be an interceptor. Clink assumes he can't see him, so he's going to have a little.
I
Do
don't
a
actually
roll
know.
perception or anything like that to have a look and see if I can see him.
Hold on, you have 60 feet of dark vision.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see him, so I'm going to put him back on the normal layer. So, he is
Okay.
surprised by your sudden appearance behind him and is no longer hidden.
Now, I can use my action to shoot him in the back with magic. And that's about it. So, I'm going to fire off a chromatic crow into his back.
Okay.
And it will actually bloody roll. There we go. And that will be lightning damage.
Okay, but the 14 does not hit, so he dodges from the ceiling.
Is that your max movement?
Yes. I
Oh.
could have moved more and gotten up, but then I wouldn't really have to attack.
Yeah,
So there's not a point there. That is my turn.
Okay. The end of your turn, he closes in part of the distance. Mac.
Okay. Going to move. It's 25. Using bonus action to dash. Looks like I gotta use my regular action as well. And I have 5 feet of movement left. Clink, you okay? Can you handle yourself? Silver? Yeah, mute again.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Clink should be fine.
Okay. Mac,
Just shoot him in the back.
I only have 5 feet of movement. I've already used my movement, action to dash, and bonus action to dash. I think I'm gonna
I'll
head.
take 5 foot to hide in the corridor.
I'm actually gonna head south so I can see if I can lock the other door, and we can hopefully funnel him into a.
Oh, I was gonna see if I can get up into that square in front of him, so he can't move past me. But
Yeah, but
that's
he has a
fine.
lot of turns before it's back to you, so
Yeah.
That's true.
good to have a
Yeah,
backup.
so-
Only half of them will be
He has
moved.
a lot of turns and you have not very much hit points.
That's true.
He is blade singing.
Blade screeching.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was blade modem dialing.
That's right.
Actually, now that he's no longer inside, doesn't Krivkash get... Is he still frightened when he can't see the...
The frighten stays. It's only the disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls is only as well he can see the vampire. But he does get a new saving throw at the end of every turn. He's just been rolling very bad.
Okay.
Okay, at the end of your turn, he closes in the rest of the distance and goes stand on the wall next to Clink in a very odd sight, being perpendicular to Clink. There he is.
Uh-huh. Alright. Well, I guess I can dash. And then... Hold on. Yes. Then Krivkash Jr. will sting him.
Okay, it's your bonus action. Give me an attack roll for that. Okay. And that definitely hits.
Nice.
So he takes 7 piercing damage and makes a constitution saving throw. Let's see what he rolls. He rolls an 8.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He falls unconscious.
Okay.
We stuck him in the bag of holding. He's a vampire who
Well,
doesn't need
he's-
to breathe.
He's
Yeah,
unconscious.
As long as he's not... Just put him somewhere and close all the doors off and...
Well, if we want to question
Well,
him,
so
In theory, he can turn into a mist and seep through the doors. So that's a bad idea. We have to put him in the bag of holding.
yeah,
Only safe
He
way.
won't die from the bag of holding.
we're not
until
trying to
he's-
kill him. We're just trying to transport him to a spot that we can question him.
Interrogate.
Yeah, interrogate.
Where would that be?
We'll have a lot more.
Literally anywhere.
Yeah.
We just want to do it after the long rest.
Okay. Can we stuff him in the
Okay.
bag of holding? Is there enough space left?
let's see. He's poisoned
We can
for
make
an
him
hour.
compact.
And he's unconscious for an hour.
Give me, let's say, sleight of hand check to see if you can get him in without shaking him awake.
I'll do that one.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Good enough. Good
And
enough.
I will help
You
him.
managed to. very
Just
gently, like
shoved.
slide the bag of holding down his feet like a nice blanket until he entirely vanishes into it.
And now we close it off and shake it around.
Onto a lovely,
Nothing happens because bags of holding don't work like that.
I know, but it would be funny if all the knives stabbed him.
yeah.
Well, now,
I
all
suggest
hail
doing our
Krivkash.
long.
Yeah, all hail Krivkash
Yeah,
Jr.
Hail Krivkash Jr.
Okay.
All hail.
I
Vampire
suggest now
snake thing, this is
we
done.
close off the flight, the ways into the sewer, and we still take guard while we do the long rest in case there's anyone else coming.
I don't know if there's been enough time for a long rest.
Not at this point.
It's
Probably
currently
not.
early afternoon.
We may,
Probably not.
since this guy
Yes.
was the messenger, we might want to make our way back to the High Hall, because
Did we get the letter that he was carrying?
No.
Ah,
well, it's mostly so that the High Hall is probably better equipped to try and interrogate this vampire than, say, underground passages.
so you want to go to the High Hall now?
Well, we are right under it, right?
No.
No, we
Oh,
are
that's right.
somewhere in the.
That's right. The shrine was
it's not-
underneath it.
Yeah, it's not super far, but it's not here.
I think the next stop was going to be the market to find out who the traitor is, but we can always change plans if you think.
Do you want me to take you to the city map?
Yes, please.
There you go. So you are currently here.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely closer to the High Hall than the market.
Because we were coming from there, but we know the traitor is in the market, so we'll have to go there sometime. And probably not way too long, because she now sent a messenger and we intercepted it, so it won't be long before the traitor knows something's up.
Well, okay. So according to the poison, the vampire is unconscious for an hour. Since we got him into that, we could try and use sleight of hand to see if we can pickpocket him without waking him up.
And get the letter, yes.
Yeah.
You can try that. Any other sleight of hand check?
I would let Mag do that.
Since
I'm
Clink
going
is
to give you an inspiration die.
Clink, do you want to give me a hand with this so I get advantage on it?
Sure, what do you want me to roll?
Well,
If you help, he just gets advantage.
Oh, well then just help.
I also gave you an inspiration die that you can add if it's not enough.
okay. Well, let's see.
Okay, I
Probably
think
enough.
23 is probably enough not to wake him up. Okay, you managed to find a letter in his one of the inside pockets of his cloak, which says this.
This vampire is called Conal. Probably.
No, it's not. Wait. Yeah. Probably.
Do we know anyone else named Conal?
Well, I was wondering if there was another guy
think so.
coming, because this was mostly just a messenger, I thought.
Yeah, but it's a vampire that's
Yeah.
pretty big for just a messenger.
Yeah, that's what I just thought too.
So I think we'd best go to the market before we go to the High Hall.
Yeah, now that
And
we
then,
have the letter, I agree.
but Krivkash does not have the zone of truth prepared, I think.
Well, yeah.
So
You haven't taken a long rest yet.
we'll need to take a long rest before we can do the whole thing in the market. Unless we have another way to find out who the traitor is.
think so.
Are these letters in they're handwritten, right?
Well, I don't think Altrel has computers yet, so
So we could make everyone write similar letters and then compare the handwritings.
That seems
Possibly.
easy to fake.
Of course, the zone of
Nope.
truth is much more foolproof.
Or is it like a ransom letter, so it's all clipped out of other manuscripts?
no, but it's just written fairly neatly.
I say we make our way over to the market, because what we can do is we're going to have to head that direction anyways.
Maybe we can find somewhere nearby to spend a long. How long actually does it take to reach the market? How many hours?
There's Chester's
Depends
house
on what-
along the way.
It
Yeah.
kind of depends on what you do along the way, but otherwise, I guess an hour or so if you're not running through the streets.
And how many hours are left in this day?
It's like 2
That's-
p.m.
Yeah,
2
We
or
could
3.
always
Bit-
go to the market,
bit
tell our
past two.
story, then take our long rest there, and if we don't find the traitor before, then we just say, well, tomorrow morning we'll use the zone of truth on all of you, and then probably the traitor is already too scared and reveals him or herself.
Right off when we're not in plain view.
Well, I'm going to mention this now in case we do start moving. Mac is going to scout along the rooftops if we end up heading that direction.
I assume so.
I want to be careful. I want to make sure, because last time we didn't specify something, Clink tried to eat a mimic.
Well, the problem was not that you didn't specify something. The problem was that he was very specifically eating a mimic.
I want to see if I can get ahead of it next time. Maybe Mac will notice a mimic before Clink tries to eat it.
I'm
Who
fine with
knows?
both waiting here until tomorrow morning and then heading there, or heading there now. I'm fine with either.
If we're going to kind of camp out before we get there, I say we at least get closer.
We could go to Chester's house and there make our camp, maybe.
We also cleared out the doghouse, and the doghouse is a little... I don't know which one's closer.
The dog house is already past the market, so
Yeah, the dog house is here.
Yeah, but if we're trying to burn some time to a long rest, whatever gets us closer, we might also be able to garrison ourselves in one of the other homes that's closer.
Yeah.
Black Antlers we know had a pretty closed off cellar.
It might also be fair to assume that one of the houses that's right outside the market, like one of these, might not have any enemies in it just due to the close proximity of the market.
If we go closer, the traitor might have spies there that already see us coming.
Or
Good point.
conversely, that might be where the enemies are waiting because they're waiting to ambush people coming out of the market or coming to the market.
I think at least the distance of Chester's house we should keep if we're not planning on going all the way today.
Agreed.
So we go there then, or to the pair of Black Antlers?
I'm good with either.
I think the Bear of Black Antlers was it had a cellar that we could easily defend, right?
Yeah,
And which was closed off with a hidden door, yes.
Yeah, and Chester's house does probably not have that.
It's a house.
Yeah. So I suggest the tavern.
It's good.
okay.
Oh,
Does anyone need to do a short rest now before we go or not? I don't need to.
We probably should just use as arcane recovery.
Then we can do a short rest just before we go.
up to you.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, how many crossbow bolts did we find in the cellar there, where the cult was? You mentioned clothes, some daggers and stuff, and some crossbow bolts.
107.
Mac now has 169. So,
Alright,
short rest then?
if you want to.
I do enjoy having that all healing is maxed thing, because very nice to regain like 37 hit points for one spell slot.
That is pretty nice.
Indeed.
Sorry,
It's not
39.
regenerate anyway. Does anyone still need healing? I'm missing like 4 hit points.
I don't need healing.
Darius regains his spell slots anyway, and we have blob healing.
I think that Darius used his last spell slot on himself, is what he means.
Yes.
Because he took 30 piercing damage. So he was missing some hit points here and there.
Just a couple.
Okay, has everyone done their short rest?
Darius, were you going to heal?
I already did it.
Okay.
Silver, you used your arcane recovery this time?
Yep. Got me a
Okay.
third level spell slot. Apparently, I had a second level spell slot. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, who needs those anyway? Okay, so... Mac, give me a stealth and a perception check for your scouting.
Okay, there's the stealth.
That's pretty stealthy.
And then perception.
Mhm. Decently stealthy, decently perceptive as well. Okay.
Well, that's only one higher than my passive perception at this point.
Which is still not bad, not bad. Okay, then. Okay. You get, whoops, dragging the wrong thing. To the bridge without encountering anything of note.
But the bridge is the key point.
Let me see actually what is on the bridge in the first place, if anything. Bridge. However, as you are crossing the bridge, Mac, thanks to his rather nice perception check, notices that there are two odd shadows which seem to be hiding at the outside of the balustrade. Where's the map? Here's the map.
Hey, are we still dressed as cultists? I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
You tell me.
Yeah, because
We are.
Changed back into his wedding dress.
Okay.
Oh, good. A few cultists and a bridal
Just dressed
bird.
Okay, then we're back in our noble clothes.
I accidentally the party. Okay, Okay, so drag yourself to somewhere in the middle of the bridge.
That's just how stealthy we are.
Okay. Let's see. Where's Mac? There's Mac.
Oh, I want to be next to Lulu.
Mac is probably closer to the lead.
There's guys hanging off the side of the bridge. It's like Dark Souls all over again.
Okay. Mac noted them, so he did not get a surprise round. So kindly roll me an initiative.
So Clink, do you want to be a giant ape?
Clink's already a giant ape.
Okay, then I'll make someone else a giant ape.
You can probably make Clink into the giant ape. That's probably a good point.
I think Clink is the best choice now because I think you don't have spell slots, or maybe
has a
one.
level
I do have a 3 and a 2.
Okay.
Oh wait, does it count as dim light here, or is this regular bright light?
Because while you're an
Bright
ape,
light.
you can't use your spells, so that's why it's probably most useful to do them.
Can we
people who
turn Krivkash Jr. into a giant ape?
That's good. I don't think no, because you have to have at least. It has to be the difficulty range of whatever you were before or lower, and Krivkash Jr. has a much lower one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you should do your conversion on Clink. But only if you get a better. Oh, you don't have a better roll. So Clink will have to move into melee range first.
Okay, so Mac, you're first apparently.
Do we recognize what these creatures are? Because I don't think we've seen them before.
I'm can't remember if you have seen them before, so give me a
Pretty sure we haven't.
Yeah, I don't
religion
think
check.
we have.
Okay, Darius recognizes that these shadows are shadows.
This floor
Oh,
is
yes.
made of
Oh,
floor.
And additionally, remembers that shadows are a type of incorporeal undead.
Do they
we always
fall?
have that.
They hide in the shadows and they sneak up on people and drain their strength.
Well, good thing we
Clink, you
have.
should absolutely. I should absolutely use my Shadow Blade spell. Too bad it's not prepared, because then I'll be attacking a shadow with a shadow.
Everyone knows that's how it works.
Wait, they can only hide in shadows, right? So all we
Yeah,
need to do
they
is
are
have.
a lot better at it.
So
Krivkash has
Krivkash.
swords.
Yeah, have Krivkash turn on his sword.
I will turn on my sword lights.
Do they fall?
They're not close enough, I think.
Oh, we
Not
probably
yet, no.
don't know. Okay.
I think they have a fly speed rather than a walk speed because they are shadows, so they don't really care.
Okay. Let's see. I am going to give myself advantage and just fire at the close one.
Okay. 20 definitely hit, and the shadow evaporates immediately as the crossbow bolt hits it.
Easy. Something is wrong there.
Gosh,
The second one. Oh, that's far away. And that's that's my turn.
okay. Shadow's turn comes around, and it bravely runs away. And uses its action to dash.
Do we want to
I
pursue
think
it all?
that's murder.
I don't need to pursue it.
Oh, I don't
Look at
even.
that.
Oh,
It's just a shadow.
I think I'm the only one that could even probably hit him at this range.
well, Clink probably could too, but Clink's gonna
You
go
have,
sprinting forward.
you have Firebolt, which has a range of 120 feet.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Not on my cantrips currently. I changed them out, remember?
Okay.
Okay, Boomer does. Oh wait, no, that's not the one. Necrotic Touch does it.
Does
I've
Necrotic
sprinted.
Touch work on undead?
Yes, it's just necrotic damage. Most undead aren't actually resistant to necrotic damage from memory.
I thought there was something that Necrotic Touch did that didn't work on
But
undead.
that's Clink's turn because that's his action to dash.
Ah, okay. Darius, I think Necrotic. Yeah, Chill Touch gives Undead, if you hit them, disadvantage on attacking you specifically.
Yeah, that's 135. That's even outside my Eldritch Blast. If I come up here,
Okay. Zella?
I guess I'll run after it, but I think it's gonna escape and I'm not really too worried about that.
Mac?
I am going to give myself advantage. And I'm going to try and fire on him.
Can you fire that or?
Crossbow, or sorry, don't I ignore the max range?
You don't get disadvantage on the long range, but the max range still exists.
Oh, okay, then let me...
I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't remember what the max range is, and he's 165 feet away.
The
This
range
max
on
range is
my
typically
crossbow
4
is
times the base.
320.
Okay, one at a time. 300.
The max range is typically 4 times the base range.
On my crossbow is 320.
Okay, you can fire.
Yep, 320, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. Did it go twice?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's just the previous one because all of us didn't attack in
you're right. None of
between.
you attacked. Okay, 18 still hit, so the other shadow also evaporates.
Go mad.
Easy peasy.
Okay.
there will be no spying today.
Krivkash Jr. is flying somewhere over the bridge.
Yeah, he was gonna head them off, but
Mac headed them off with the crossbow bolt.
yeah, turns out crossbow bolts are faster than pseudo dragons.
Mac returns to scouting across the... Scouting in stealth.
Okay, so remind me, are you going to the pair of black antlers or to Chester's house?
Pair of black antlers.
Black antlers.
Okay. So give me another stealth and perception check for the next part of your voyage. I mostly meant Mac, but okay.
Max
Think
sees
it's not.
everything.
Clink is not invited on the scouting.
I can
Very
see
exclusive
forever!
party. Very exclusive party. Okay,
Clink
so
can,
They're taking the
Mac
hobbits to
can-
Isengard.
Matt can see his house from here.
Oh. you get to about here, I suppose, and there Max sees a figure dressed in a large leather cloak. Well, a coat, yeah, hooded coat, who seems to be walking down the street in the same direction you are, so he has not yet noticed you, or he or she or they. So what do you do?
So they're dressed in like a cloak or something?
Yeah, like one of those coats that fancy people in detective series wear that come to the ground, but with a hood that also goes over their head.
Does it look like they're trying to avoid being seen at all, or they just kind of like prancing down the center of the street?
They're not
He's got that
particularly
bit coat on.
they're not being particularly stealthy.
We could always hail them instead of just going for blood straight away.
Yeah, sure. Let's do the Darius thing this time. We've done the Clink thing quite a bit.
Can we take a quick pause just so I can go and grab a coffee?
Actually, yeah,
Maybe a short bio break.
that works.
Okay.
Oh, wait, this is still recording. Oops.
Ja, oder so, wie es mir gemeint wird, habe ich nicht weitergeschaut. Ich habe die Staffel 2 gesehen, danach möchte ich mitschauen. Falls es weiterschaut.
Okay, I'm back.
You know, I still find it funny how Tolkien explains the way elves' eyesight works.
I'm not sure how he does.
Basically, it's It's like elves ignore physics.
Well, they have to, otherwise they wouldn't be able to see that the hobbits are taken to Isengard.
Yeah, they just ignore the curvature of the Earth, and I think that's it's explained in like the similar. I can never.
Wait a minute. Wait a moment. Actually, is it ever
It is
written
explained.
down?
Yeah.
Is it no? Is it written down that the Earth of Middle Earth is round?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's not
good
written
point.
down there.
Well, that's true, but I think the distance the elves could see simply broke physics on the ground of being beyond what is physically possible given the
Yeah.
wavelength of light.
Yeah. There's also the fact that they used to have two orbs that were the sun and the moon as literal orbs that were stolen. And before that, they had the two trees, which were cut down because Morgoth was a prick. And that they had literal gods that they knew about. And
That's
not
also
everybody
true.
was religious.
Apparently, in the Silmarillion, it does state that the world was curved after the fall of Numenor, preventing access to Valinor. But elves, among others, can travel the straight path across it.
So the Earth was flat, but then it became round, but one place stayed in place.
Yeah, so Middle
And
Earth is
the
round,
elves,
but not for elves because magic.
the elves just kind of go straight into space with their boats when they go to the west.
It's more they would have gone orthogonal to like normal directions.
Okay, wait. So normal people walk on the Earth around the curvature of the Earth, and a elf can suddenly fall off the Earth because for him the Earth is flat.
Yep.
No, I think they can just walk in a fourth dimensional direction. Is the
Yeah,
more
but
correct reading.
it's more fun to imagine they just kind of go up into space with their boats.
Yes, with their boats, you can imagine that. That'd be funny. But with their walking, just walking around Middle Earth itself is a bit of curvature. So there'd be areas where they just couldn't live because they couldn't get low enough.
Mm-hmm.
In some places, they stand at a slant.
So elves are flat earthers, in other words.
You don't need a compass, you just need an elf. Because they point towards the center. They always lean.
That means they're gravitationally independent.
So are we all back?
I haven't
call.
heard Corn yet.
I thought I heard corn, but I guess not. Corn? Nope. He's clicking his mute button. He's now unmuted.
Cornflakes, cornflakes, cornflakes.
He's going to send a message to us in Morse code by the mute button.
Wasn't that used in like a movie somewhere or something?
Possibly so.
Briefly, barely heard you, Corn.
What is going on?
You're cutting out.
We lost him, Jim. Not good, not good.
Okay.
Man down, man down. Our tank is disappearing.
Test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
fine.
better.
Okay.
Yay.
In that case, we are all back. So, you had just encountered a figure. What is the plan?
I think we were going to do the Darius route this time.
Yes.
Meaning?
We say hello
Okay.
with words instead of with murder.
This is going to go so badly.
I think
I look at Darius in confusion.
not murdering a random person you just encounter on the street is probably not a bad idea. Okay, so as Darius shouts out hello from behind around the corner, the figure turns around and notices you, and then replies, "Are you interested in buying or selling some keys?" And then he opens up his coat like a shady street vendor, and you notice that it's a chain devil, and the inside of his coat is lined with rows and rows of different keys.
I say, yes, I am very interested. Would you care for a trade? And I open my coat and there's chains and chains of daggers inside.
Quick offers a trade, also opening his dress, and there's just nothing underneath.
And there's another dress underneath.
Let me check what his actual notes. I am not interested in daggers, but I will give you a silver piece for a key, or give you a key for a silver piece, or a key for a key, of course.
What do these keys open?
I don't know.
Okay,
Not me, but
I want 3 keys.
okay, he lets you pick out 3 keys.
I
From
pick
his-
the biggest one, the smallest one, and the one with the weirdest shape.
Okay. He holds out his hand, expecting his 3 silver pieces.
Yes, I give him the silver pieces with my mage hand.
Okay, he receives the 3 silver pieces. No keys for sale then.
No, unfortunately we don't really have a lot of keys. This is why it's so good that I could buy 3 from you.
Indeed, very, very, very fortunate for you. Well then, if you have any keys at a later time and you find me again, we can always do business again, of course.
Of course we can. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Before we part ways, I ask if he's happened to seen any giant half orcs that may have been obsessed with smashing doors
And with a cat.
and with
Very bad for business.
a giant pole hammer.
Very bad for business, all that door smashing. You don't need keys if you can just break a door down.
Yeah. Not that I can remember. What are you looking for him for?
Because we
He's
lost
a friend of ours.
Because he was our stand-in for keys.
Uh-huh. Have you checked your other pocket? I sometimes forget things there.
I mentioned
What a
that.
great idea!
I mentioned we did, but we only found a vampire there.
I hate when that happens. they don't like keys. They just kind of like because you know they can't go into buildings that belong to other people unless they have the
Invitation.
invitation. Yes, so they don't use keys. Well, except if for their own house, but bad customers.
Does the key not count as a kind of implicit invitation?
Only if it was given to you.
But trading it, that would be it being given
by
to
the
you.
owner. If the owner of the house gives you a key, then you have the permission to go inside. But if the owner's key is stolen and then you get that key, then you don't have permission.
Do you mean your keys are stolen?
No, some of them I found honestly, and other ones I have paid money for.
What's your name?
Luciano,
Hi, Luciano. I hope we meet again.
I hope so too. If you have some keys by then.
I'll look. I keep my eye open for more keys for you.
Okay. Unless you have more to say to him, he is going to wander on.
I don't have anything more to say.
Okay. And Luciano, the Chain Devil, moves on, leaving you behind, possibly slightly confused.
And I wonder, would he buy padlocks for his chains to go along with his keys? Or can we scalp him for money for keys when we just padlock his chains?
I'm not going to stealth him.
I don't think you have padlocks.
Meh.
And I will mention that there are now 3 random keys in Giselle's inventory.
Yes,
Yeah.
I put them in my inventory.
Okay, you already got it. Got it.
Okay.
Are they written as large key, small key, and weird key?
No, but I will do that now. I guess we continue to the tavern.
Okay. Mac, thinking ahead, you continue to the tavern, which is apparently still deserted, and you encounter no other living or undead things.
What time is it now?
Probably starting to be late afternoon or early evening.
I would camp out here so that Krivkash can prepare Zone of Truth. And we do a long rest.
Does anybody have any spell slots left that
I
are
have spell slots left, yes.
that are of thunder
I
or
do as
lightning
well.
in nature?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have
I have thunder
Shatter.
and lightning.
I have 3 spell slots left for Shatter.
Okay, then I can take probably, I think we said like an hour per spell slot to create a smoke packet, I think it was.
In the description for the recipe, 2 hours.
Okay, so I'm assuming 2 packets then? Because
I guess so.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing 4 hours.
Is Shatter really what you want to be using? That's like the loudest one.
But she doesn't actually have to cast the spell, she just has to know it.
Oh, okay. I thought
That's
we
how
were going to be
magic
making.
recipes work.
I thought we were going to be like, sounding like a forge in here.
Okay. So, while you wait, you create 2 packets of smoke powder. So don't forget to use up the
Yep.
alchemical components, and then you take a long rest in the hidden cellar of the tavern, so everyone can do their long rest, because you will not be interrupted there logically.
So now the minus max from the...
Indeed.
Okay.
Okay.
Vampire drain goes away, and I want to remind you that you still have not identified that spear.
Then Clint spends some time identifying it as part of his long list stuff.
Okay.
How do you get hit dice back? Do you get all of them back?
Half
Or
of them.
okay, that's close enough to all of them.
Round it up, right? If it's a half
Uh,
or round.
round it down, but with
That's
a
right.
minimum of 1.
Got it. Do we have anybody that can? Wait, a spear is thrown, right?
Thrown or stabby stab. So
What proficiencies does it take to use it?
efficiency in using a spear.
Okay, so it's not considered like a martial weapon or anything like that? Or a simple
Uh,
weapon, sorry.
Oh, that way. I think spears are simple weapons.
Okay.
They should be. This pointy stick.
Yeah, spears are simple melee weapons. So Krivkash should be, well, Krivkash is proficient with every weapon, so logically. And maybe someone else, but I'm not sure.
I'm also simple weapons, but
Yeah.
I have my music instrument in my hand, so. it's not
There's
really-
Darius as well.
Can I use it as a quarterstaff?
No, because it's a spear.
I just take the spear, stabbing them off the end of it, it'll be fine.
Well, I mean, you can use it as a quarterstaff, but then the magic stuff is not going to work because then, yeah.
Oh well. That should be me sorted. Do you guys have any particular requests for spells?
Do we want to deal with the vampire in the bag while we're dealing with this long rest?
I would wait until we find the traitor because, well, maybe they kind of belong together, so maybe the people on the market want to do something with the vampire first, although we probably have to just kill it. But I would do that after we have identified the traitor,
Okay.
just in case something pops up.
So if Krivkash wants to swap out any spells, then maybe you should do so.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay.
Who gets the spear?
And since Krivkash is already dealing with thrown stuff, I'd say probably him.
Okay, another spear for myself. I see.
Do you have too many spears?
Well, I
Yeah,
have already a set. I have light spitter, and now
Well,
I have the hellfire spear.
I can always also take it, but probably.
well, given the fact that they don't come back when you throw them, having more than one can be handy.
At a certain point, Krivkash is going to need to get a quiver for his spears.
Well, if we ever re-meet up with Krat, we can just give him all the spears, and he can be our spearman.
Yeah.
What's the normal of a spear? 1d6, I guess?
Yeah, well, one 1d6 and then another 1d6 fire damage on the first time it hits on a turn.
Is this also when you hit the creature as a reaction, like attack of opportunities?
Yeah, once per turn, not once on your turn. So
Okay.
And now I want to move it up in my list. Oh, it actually does work that way. Let me move it! Stupid.
are you okay?
I'm just cursing. Everything is fine.
What are you trying to move?
I'm trying to reorganize my attack list.
I can see why. Where do you need the spear to be?
I already managed it, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so your long rest ends. You all get your stuff back that you get back. What do you do?
We go towards the market.
Yes.
Okay. Let us see. Notes, 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 notes. Okay, so assuming Mac is spying ahead again, I need another stealth and perception check.
Well, now, looks like my passive perception's better than that.
Yeah, your passive is 17, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Background sounds. Okay. Oh. Ah. Box fell away.
He won't be coming back.
I see. Okay. So you head back out of the tavern. That's the name. And slowly work your way towards the market. When you get about here, Mac hears a high-pitched scream and the sound of running, and then several groans that seem to follow into the street further away.
Get involved or not get
Several what?
involved?
What is it? Groans?
Groans.
Oh, yeah. I'll get involved. We're the good guys.
Okay.
Yesterday, Mac killed two. Just poof, poof.
Okay. So you hurry towards the corner of the street. Where I think Mac would be in front would be about here.
Put me on the roof, I guess.
Lulu.
Well,
Where is Lulu?
oh yeah. Where he sees a couple of ghosts who are entering a building. Yeah, let me put Lulu in there with you. Lulu. There she goes. Ears.
Okay, there we go. Is anybody talking?
No, nobody is talking.
Okay, just making sure my sound didn't cut out.
Yeah. Doing stuff. Okay. Isella.
I guess I hear Mac shouting.
Yeah, Mac points out that stuff is happening.
So I go there where I can actually see them. Let's see, the closest one is 65 feet. I can do 120 feet, so that's no problem. I just shoot that one. Oh, it's not. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Okay. Here it is.
Nice.
Okay. 26 hit, 12 doesn't. So he takes 3 force damage.
Haha, take that. 3 damage.
Looks around and notices you. seems to be now distracted from whatever he was doing before. This ghost has not noticed you yet and is doing something you can currently not see, I think. This one as well. This one grunts something at his fellow ghosts and then starts lumbering towards you. And then uses his action to dash, I suppose.
Hi.
Mac.
I can see this one, and I can see this one. And I'm assuming that this is kind of a peak of a roof right here. So I'm going to give myself advantage. And I'm going to use... Actually, I'm not going to use scatter shot. I'm going to shoot this one that's closest in the window.
Okay. Yeah, 21 hits. So that. Okay. 41. Not bad, not bad. The ghost goes down in one shot. You manage to hit his forehead.
Nice.
Okay. Other ghost comes. Look what is going on. You notice he is carrying, dragging around a corpse. Fairly old corpse, it seems.
Yes, when I go look into intruders, I always take my food with me.
Of course. When you are very hungry, you would do so.
Yes.
I mean, for us, it'd be just like taking a granola bar with us.
Yeah.
Basically. Noticing that you look juicier, uses his action to dash closer. This ghost is dead, so ping.
Oh, right. Think. What have I got to deal? I've got. Oh, by the way, I've already used up a spell slot for my think armor. Just so that's about 20 foot.
Go stabby,
Stabby.
stabby. Nice.
Okay, 17 hits.
Another 20 foot. Regular stabby. And extra stabby.
Okay, go to all of those hits. So first one takes 21 damage. Yes, it is booming bladed. Second one takes 9 damage, not booming bladed. Most of them are still alive, but stabbed.
Most of them are still alive, seeing as it's 2.
3. I can see a third one in the...
There's a third one in there, but he's still alive too. So all of them are still alive.
except
No,
the
one
one.
is dead.
Oh.
Shot one through the window.
Ah, I see. I see.
Okay, you're going to stay there?
I have no more movement.
Okay, fair enough. Darius.
Yes. I'm going to stand here and blast each one. First this one, then the other.
Okay. Both of those hit.
And push him back.
So first one is 6 force damage. Ends up here, I suppose. The other one takes 1 force damage, ends up here. Things see his target disappear and be replaced with another target. Krivkash.
Corn?
Oh, sorry. I turn on my flashlight.
Okay.
And are they undead?
Yes. And does not hit, however, so he manages to dodge underneath your swing.
Oh, yeah, and that is my turn.
Okay. And Gisela.
We're just gonna butterfly beam the second closest one. This one.
Which one?
The one that was next to Clink, but now not anymore.
This one. Okay.
Yes.
Both of those hits, so that's another 6 force damage as a 2 raise blasts into him. He looks very unhealthy, even for being an undead creature. One inside also stops doing whatever he was doing, hearing the commotion outside. Also notices the fresh meat, dashes closer. This one going to attack Clink. His claws with a 22 hit.
I call out to the goal. You look like you came from a donation pile.
Okay. Give me the roll. Still a hit. Not have been had you rolled a bit higher, but okay, in that case, Clink takes 7 slashing damage and makes a constitution saving throw.
1 second, 3, and Constitution.
Unless he wants to cast shield, of course.
I probably should have done that, shouldn't have I?
10
Could I
is
retroactively have done that? Because that's what I would have done if I'd thought of it.
sure.
Shield of Clink.
Take off the spell slot and
Yeah,
back your hit points. Okay. So, shield reaction. The next one. Also going to look outside. And rush in. Using an action to dash back.
Let's
To
see.
get deja vu.
Let's go ahead and at least try to save Clink. I am going to use Scattershot on the 2 just above Clink. Going to give myself advantage. Let's see. So the one on the left, the one on the right,
Also hit.
I'll sneak attack the first one.
Sure. Okay, so the first one takes 10, 7, and 16 damage. It's still standing, but barely. And the second one takes 23 damage, also doesn't look terribly healthy after that. Okay. Lulu feels that you have got this, and goths are not known for casting spells, so he's going to chill. Other goths is going to gang up on Clink, as goths tend to do, apparently. Rakes his
It's
claws
just,
at
that's just the natural order of things.
Yeah,
rakes his claws at Clink, but misses.
Well, see, the thing isn't the fact that they're ghasts ganging up on Clink, it's just that it's Clink. He's a magnet.
Clink is ganging up on the ghosts. Okay.
You are surrounded. I'll come out there and surround you myself.
Yeah. Okay, Klink, as you start your turn near the ghosts, you notice that they stink immensely. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Big pukes.
Oh my gosh, yes, he
Indeed.
does.
Smells so bad that you are poisoned until the start of your next turn.
Okay. What does that do?
I think it gives you disadvantage on stuff. I will look up what stuff this stuff is.
Yes.
Disadvantage
and
on attack
then-
rolls and ability checks.
And just disengage, climb a building.
Doesn't that hit Krivkash?
Sorry, I've been muted again. Sorry, Krivkash was my first words, and then I'm thunder stepping up onto the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone, including Krivkash, makes a every ghost and Krivkash makes a Constitution saving throw.
What's the range on Thunderstep, the
foot.
damage?
And
10 foot.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's just that whole corridor.
So Krivkash takes 8 thunder damage. Then the ghosts roll in order: a 20, a 13, a 3, and an 11. So only one succeeds. Half damage on a save, probably.
Yes. At least
I
what
believe
it
so.
says.
Okay, the one that saves does not have 4 hit points left, so is dead.
Yay!
Is also dead. And this one takes damage, but is just still alive. And this one is also dead.
Wow. Nice.
A proper use of a step.
So Klink
Well, yeah.
teleports with a booming sound. 3 of the ghosts simply splatter into gore as he vanishes. Some splatters onto Krivkash, who does not seem to appreciate it, probably.
Well, to be honest, I think my scatter shot helped a bit too.
Well, yeah.
It did.
Your
As to my initial stabbing.
your
Yeah,
scatter
that's
shot
true.
dropped to 3 and 7 hit points, so.
Nice.
Okay, so that's your. We lost a cornflakes. We regained the cornflakes.
What sort of status ailment is that?
Gaining cornflakes? I
Yeah,
don't know if that's an ailment.
status effect.
We do not hear a cornflakes.
Test, test.
Now
Now
we
we
hear.
Yay!
Okay. Did you hear everything?
Not exactly, no.
Okay, so Klink teleported away, 3 of the ghosts exploded in your face, you took damage, and that's about it.
Good.
But
That
you
I
have
did
all-
gather, yes.
Okay,
I already took the damage.
okay. Klink, any further things?
No, because I don't have any actions left, and my bonus action can't be used to toss things at things.
Okay.
You could probably toss a rock at him as kind of like a pebble or something. Free object
Darius.
interaction.
Yes, I'm going to come here and blast the last guy. Or not.
Nope. Both of those managed to miss. He's still reeling from the blast.
Alright. Krivkash Jr. is going to attempt a stabbing.
Okay.
How did Krivkash Jr. lose 2 hit points?
He's had 2 hit points down for a while.
He just took a long rest, so he should not.
Oh, okay.
Krivkash Jr. can take short rests as well, by the way, although he only has 1 hit dice, I think.
And that didn't work either. Alright,
Nope.
he's gonna come back and take the attack of opportunity.
Okay. Blast claws at him. but misses with a critical miss. Alright, Krivkash.
Okay. I move there and smack it in the face.
Uh, 24 definitely hits. So you slash the ghost with a large gash over his chest that basically bisects him. He falls on the ground dead. I think
Yay.
that was the last one.
Yay.
Where did the screaming come from?
Somewhere over. Well, you heard it coming from this general direction, but
Is
you're
there
not
anyone
exactly
still
sure where.
alive? Hello? Anyone still alive in here?
Let me check my note. Yeah, as you go inside, you hear a very faint crying coming from this cupboard. Well, everyone except Link.
Blink.
Clink eats the cupboard. By that I mean he opens it.
But you didn't hear anything from it.
Clearly, everyone else did.
Well, keep in mind this is Clink. He's
Oh.
just going to rummage through everything anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then he can just as well start somewhere else. I open the cupboard.
You see a young girl who seems to be about 6, who is hiding in the cupboard, who looks at you with very large and scared eyes.
I say, hello. No need to be scared. The monsters are gone.
He comes out of the cupboard and clings to you.
I take her in my arms.
She seems a bit comforted now. Are they gone?
The monsters are gone, but unfortunately, I think your parents are. It was too late for them. I think. Are they those? Maybe don't show the bodies to the girl. It might be traumatizing.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
This is not my house.
Oh. Okay.
No, I was well. Mom had told me not to go upstairs, but I wanted to play upstairs, so I went upstairs. But then these scary people were knocking on our window, and I got scared and I ran out of the back door. But they ran after me, and I don't remember where I actually went.
Okay. Well, do you know where you live?
In Outerel.
Do you know your street?
Um. Um. It was something with street in the name.
Is there like a really big building near your house?
My house is big.
Is there like a windmill or a tower or something like that? Do I recognize the girl because I know some people in Elturel? I ask her what her name is.
My name is Shora. Shora Hevren.
Do I recognize that name or the family name?
Give me an intelligence check. You do not.
Well,
there's also a baker in our street, I remember.
I assume there's lots of bakers in Elturel.
Probably.
Okay. Well, you know what? What's her name again?
Shora.
You know what, Shora? We'll take you to a safe place and with lots of people who, and probably you will at least recognize one of them who will know where your parents are.
Okay.
And don't worry about the monsters; they will not mess with us.
Okay. She keeps clinging close to you.
Okay.
But like in a way you can walk.
So we go to the market.
Okay. Another stealth and perception check will be appreciated. Mac,
Sorry, what's up?
perception and stealth check, assuming you want to.
Oh crap! Didn't turn off advantage, but
Well,
still rolled the same.
luckily, the highest are on the left. Okay, 20. Okay, you don't make it too far before you hear from the side street here someone calling out the name Shora repeatedly.
Okay, we go deliver the little girl there.
You indeed, as you cross the street, you see a very scared-looking woman looking around for her daughter. And as you approach, Shora runs to her mom. And she seems extremely, what's the word?
Grateful.
Relieved. The mom. And thanks you profusely for saving her daughter.
It's no problem.
And then she goes
We
back
should go grab a coffee when we're no longer in hell together.
Sure.
Well, Granny's from Eltrail, right?
Yeah.
So
But she lives at the other side of town, so figures it was not that plausible that she.
Yeah, so I'm just making new friends right now.
Yeah. Alright, she goes back into her house. And locks the front door and all.
We go to the market.
Okay, so. There are no further incidents on your way to the market. The people standing guard at the barriers let you in, recognizing you from the previous 2 or 3 times you've been here. They also seem pleased that this time you don't come bringing a zombie.
Huey was nice. What's your problem?
we brought someone else.
We have a new pocket
don't say
vampire.
that yet. Don't say that yet. We have to first get as much of them together as possible, in case we just say it to the trader first.
Okay.
I have nervous laughter then when he says, "At least you didn't bring a zombie."
So I want to search for the high people that we know. So the woman who let us in the first time.
High people.
Yes. Everyone that we know that has is kind of important around here.
Okay.
I say I have something important to tell you, and that please that they all gather around.
Okay, so the 2 people you encountered were Oriana over here, which is
that's the one I was remembering.
Paladin of Orm, if I recall correctly, and Duncan, who is a small lord from Iriabor, who happened to be in the city and so on when it fell. So.
And if they know anyone else important around here, then please let them join in. Because we have very important news.
2 of them generally do most of the. Well, there are people who work with, who organize stuff like food, but don't know.
Yes, let them also join in. The more people, the merrier.
Okay, so you are joined by the cook. Do I have a cook? Yes, by the cook. Whose name is Nulka.
Okay.
He makes sure everyone gets fed and that the food doesn't go bad.
I eyed the chef suspiciously.
Okay, and actually regular people can also listen in if they want. I assume a lot of people are bored, so let them all join in and listen.
Sure.
Okay, with as many people listening as possible, I say, well, we went to the cultists, which are making some trouble in the other part of the town, as you probably know. Do they
We
confirm that?
haven't noticed any cultists, but if you say so, then
Well, they do have a little bit of contact with the High Hall, right? And the High Hall knew of it, so.
oh yeah, they might have heard of it, but there hasn't been any cultist activity in this part of the city.
No,
And
and
that's
Explains the
exactly-
named characters.
that's
There's
exactly
only
what we're
two
calling.
named characters on here, so it must be the cook. Because the other guy's got a sword.
The woman, indeed, we don't see her name.
Oh
you
wait,
don't?
I have a quick and easy test. This guy who's the spy is probably a vampire, simply because we've encountered lots of other vampires from this. Pull out the daylight sword.
Yeah, actually.
Can we just
It's
explain what we're
absolutely
doing
nothing
here
other than
before we draw weapons on them?
well, you pull it out slowly and just like hold the blade end of it and just like
Okay,
look.
I
This is a cool
I
sword.
wanna stop them from drawing swords because we're mostly in friendly company here.
Yeah, but there's a
I
difference
just
between
turn
drawing
on the
a sword
sword.
for
I just
combat and
leave it on
pulling
my
out the
belt and
sword
then
to
turn
show
it
them.
on.
Well, all you got to do is be like, "Hey, look at this sword I found," and that way it's
Okay,
non-threatening.
What we actually
Exactly, you
discovered
can
with the cult
pull it out
is
from the table.
There's a bit too many people talking at the same time, so maybe you need to figure out what you want to do first and then tell me what you want to do.
well, I
You
wanted
should
to
pull
do
out
this
the
Zone of
sword and
Truth
on
thing.
the table so that it's clearly not threatening, and turn it on for one, just as an extra layer of protection. It's an anti-vampire. thing.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Can I then continue talking?
Yes. Then you go.
Okay, but are you going to stand right next to them because the sword is only 20 feet?
Well, everyone has to stand around the table, so the table should be less than 20 feet long.
Is there a table now?
I don't know.
I thought you
You
were
did
just
mention a
kind of
table.
thought you were just kind of standing on the market because mostly tents and some people sitting on the ground. They don't have that much furniture.
It's okay. They won't. He just hires vampire. So I continue speaking. I say we went to this cult because they were causing a lot of trouble. Murdered a bunch of people there, and then we found some interesting stuff. Apparently, there's someone here in the market who has been working together with the cult, and who is basically a traitor. So in order to find out who it is, we want to just use a Zone of Truth spell, which you probably know about.
Yeah.
Everyone can go in one by one, and then we just ask, did you send those letters to the cult, yes or no? And the one that, cannot honestly answer with no, must be a traitor. I am willing to step into the Zone of Truth myself and declare that I am speaking the truth.
And Oriana asks, and why are you lighting up a sword?
This is a sword that can fight off undead, and apparently this traitor is working together with undead a lot, so my companions
Might well be a
thought it would be
vampire.
a good idea to have it out.
I try to help
It's
with
just an extra layer.
persuasion.
Also, some proper daylight is like being nice, right?
I
I
suppose
don't know what Mac is persuading anyone about.
We can lodge the sword in a roof and sell it as a tanning location.
Okay, Mac has not said anything, so I'm not sure why he's rolling persuasion.
Well, I said I was
Also,
going to
we're
try
not
and help
asked
persuade them.
We're not.
But you haven't said anything.
We're not
Persuading
asked to
people
roll.
involves speaking.
Unless you're crap.
Let's just wait what they answer before we start rolling stuff.
Duncan says, well, you can do that, but there's hundreds of people on the market, so
Well, I would first start with the 3 people here, and then we can go one by one. But I'm out of the letters. It seemed that it was someone with quite a large influence, so I'm assuming it's someone high up.
okay, sure.
So can we start the zone of truth?
I guess so. So how exactly are you doing this?
Krivkash is
Yeah. Just I cast it, and does it do anything except like the effects? 50
You have
foot.
you have to put it somewhere, and then it's a sphere.
It's just like if we put it in nearby or like in the middle of the group. That we can do what Gisela described with people stepping in and answering the question, and
I asked Duncan to go first, and then Oriana, and then Loike.
Okay.
And we also know if they failed the save or not, so
Hey, remind me which saving throw this is.
charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. Where are my stat blocks for these people? Okay. And it lasts 10 minutes. Okay, so Duncan steps towards the spheres you put up a bit aside, and then enters. Okay, rolls a saving throw, succeeds. Waits another 6 seconds. Succeeds. Succeed. Succeed.
how many people can be in the zone of truth together?
Well, it's a 15-foot radius, so
Let the other 2 come in as well.
okay. The other 2 come in as well. Oriana specifically stands as far away from the other 2 people as possible. Okay, so now I need more people.
You know, we could probably also see if any of these might, if we have a suspicion that they are vampires, we do have a little bit of holy water out and be like, hey, let's dribble a couple drops on each person's hands like it's sanitizer and see who.
I'm pretty sure the trader is not.
We live in the plague times. We have to use hand sanitizer before greeting each other.
Okay, I'm looking for Oriana's character sheet somewhere. Many character sheets. There we go. So the cook succeeds his first saving throw. Oriana critically succeeds her first saving throw.
What the hell?
Well, in her case, it's fairly logical. Okay, Duncan succeeds another saving throw. The cook fails his saving throw because he's a commoner, so he has +0 to his save. Oriana succeeds. Duncan succeeds.
We asked the cook whether we sent the letters, and we show him the letters. Did you send these letters?
No.
Okay, you're free to go.
Okay. He wanders off and goes make some stew. Okay.
So just a question: is it worth actually rolling for any of this, since we're just going to sit them in the thing until they succeed? Until they fail.
You never
thing.
know, they might succeed 600 times. No.
They might, but you'd be able to tell whether or not they can do 100% success or not. And if they do, is about 1 in 20 chance at least, and so they will eventually.
Yeah, most of them are technically able to fail, just, well, Duncan has a decent charisma and Oriana has advantage on all saving throws because she's a paladin.
It's not super worth us just sitting here re-rolling it.
Yeah, it's just, but it was funny.
Yes, this is funny. Let's not burn time on that.
Okay, so it takes a minute or two before both of them have finally failed both their saving throws. They look like they are getting slightly, well, it's hard to see what Duncan is thinking given the fact that he's still wearing a helmet, but Oriana is looking increasingly embarrassed.
Okay, we ask Oriana, did you send these letters?
She looks at them and says, "I have never seen these before."
That does not say that she has not sent them. Yes or
And
no?
I have,
Have you
and,
not?
and,
Did you
and
send
I
them?
have not sent them.
Okay, I go to Duncan and I ask the same thing.
He looks at them interestedly and reads them first because you haven't actually shown them to him yet. Where did you find these?
You're refusing to answer the question?
I was just curious.
Oriana, take note, he is
explain.
refusing to answer the question in the zone of truth. He is our traitor. Oriana, we trust you. What do we want to do about him?
Hey, as you say so, the zone of truth suddenly becomes very dark.
Ooh.
Hey, we have the sword still out and lit, don't we? That's daylight spell.
Oriana can leave the.
A bit away, yes.
Oriana could leave the zone of truth. We already asked her the question.
So if the sword is out and it's daylight, does that cancel any darkness spells, or at least neutralize them?
No, that's the daylight spell itself. You also hear sounds coming from the sphere and then move further away.
Does the sphere move or only the sounds?
Only the sounds.
The sounds move to outside of the sphere.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, I don't really get what's going on.
Oh.
Darkness.
Let me make.
Duncan has cast a sphere of darkness and he's running away. Is what's going on?
Well, basically, so you are here.
I only see them. I don't see a map.
Oh right, I only moved myself to the map. So let's say you are here, or
Wait, can you ping again?
Somewhere over here.
Yeah, there. Okay.
So you put your sphere of thingy here, right next to you, for them to stand in. And stuff became dark, and you hear sounds moving in this direction.
So clearly we go to a tactical map ready for combat, because we would be chasing after that immediately as the moment he casts a spell.
Okay. You start to run. Where's my tactical map? I put it here somewhere. Did I?
I want to cast Fairy Fire on whatever it is. No, it's just darkness. Is the sound still in darkness?
No, he's running away from it. So
by the way, when he was casting, Clink has both Dispel and Counterspell prepared. So, since we were expecting eventually finding the traitor, I would expect us to have had an initiative roll for it.
Actually, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, well, counterspell only works when you perceive people casting a spell and you didn't see him do anything in this case. Give me an Arcana check.
I mean, we hear sounds going away, but the sounds are not in darkness, so that means it's something invisible.
Oh, it means that the sphere is in between you and the thing that you are seeing.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's
probably
not
an
very
ability
good.
rather than a spell to cast the darkness. Because there are some of the creatures that do that.
Yeah, some of them.
Okay, apparently I forgot to put things on the map.
Or it could have been Peruvian instant darkness powder or something like that.
Do I know what this darkness where it comes from? What it is?
Not with a 14, no.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to need a minute because I apparently forgot to put the enemies on the map. Which is not a very
Yes.
smart thing to do.
Will Miss Innocent help us?
That would seem like a thing she would do.
Oh god, there's like 6 or 7 vampires in a crowd of civilians, isn't there?
Oh no. I hope not.
We'll just have to capture some more. Oh, we should have opened the bag of holding and shown the guy, the vampire inside.
And then the vampire jumps out and we have one more enemy to kill. That's a very, very good idea.
Yeah, make the fight harder.
Yes.
Yeah, but it would have been
And-
funny.
By now he has probably healed all the damage we already did to him.
Well, yeah, he had a long rest.
Yeah, so... I keep the bag of holding away from Clink.
My monsters. Monsters. Okay. Oh. Once you get past the darkness so you can see properly what's going on, you notice that Duncan is running into this warehouse at the edge of the side of the market.
And Krivkash is handling him alone.
Yeah, you can drag yourself somewhere on the bottom of the map.
Okay.
Okay. Turn order is cleared, so I would like everyone to roll initiative. Okay. Everyone has. Oh, we're missing Lulu. And we're missing some musicy sounds of the proper kind. Okay, so first, as Duncan moves into the house, one of his men, who I know already you can see is a vampire's form, but who is actually just dressed as a guard. So it's in reality not immediately obvious that he is vampire's form, because that would be a bit too unsubtle. Moves up to the thing. How far did he move? Yeah, he used his action to dash. And the guard there. Another one comes out of the side room to see what's happening. Another guard also moves forward. Back.
Okay. I will attack the one closest to us. I'll give myself advantage.
Okay, that's 17 to hit, which hits. Okay, 34 damage, not bad. Give her a sizable wound in the shoulder. Put the light armor. Next one also moves forward. Think.
Oh, right. Clink has some. What's the lighting level here? Bright?
What?
Is the light level here? The light level here is bright, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 40 foot forward. I'm going to do something I haven't done before.
Oh no.
And cast Shadow Blade at 3rd level.
Okay.
Which gives me a 3d8 psychic damage sword for the next 10 rounds, as long as I'm concentrating. Where's my concentration? There we go. Let me just grab that because I haven't actually got one. Mission range 20/60, which I will immediately throw at one of these guys. Speed, D, 8 plus Dex.
Okay, the left one or the right one?
I want to do it at the left one.
Okay.
won't.
Okay, 19 hits. So that's 18 psychic damage for the left one.
Nice damage.
So that's my bonus damage, bonus action to cast it, my normal attack to throw that one, and then I can use my other part of my attack to do it a second swing. My short sword can't be thrown, so I'll throw a dagger at the same one.
Okay,
Nice.
definitely a hit.
Through the eye hole.
Why is your dagging rolling a d6 for its damage die?
Oh, that is a very good question. Why is that?
Should be a d4.
Yes.
Because we have more than one
So-
dagger.
So
So I'll just
roll 2d4.
roll
Yeah.
R2d4. Yeah. Ah! Not A.
Not how you do that. Okay, and this is a non-magical dagger.
Yes, this is a non-magical dagger.
Okay, it takes a slice from the dagger as it was passed, but it does not seem to be as effective as it should be.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be. I just
Oh,
want
yes.
to hold on to my black steel.
Makes sense.
Likely we
Did you flip down your mic?
How likely do you think that there's a bolt hole out of this warehouse?
Or what?
A bolt hole
Well, seeing
out
as
of
there's
this warehouse.
stairs, seeing as those stairs look like they're going down, I think he's going out of the bolt hole.
I
Where's-
don't know what a boat hole is.
It's a hole through which you bolt.
Yes, it's a runaway spot.
Oh, hey.
Are the stairs going up or down?
Down.
Alright, well in any case I'm going to move to up there.
We roll initiative for Oriana as well.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Probably. And then so close. Alright, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
You don't want to yoink the Duncan back?
No, I want to do this and wipe out the guards.
Sounds good. Let's hope there was no friendlies in the area.
There were 4 hostiles in this building. At least. It also goes around corners, so if there's anyone else hiding in the side rooms, then they will also have a bad time.
So that's when they start their turn, right? Okay.
Yes.
And Oriana. Being a paladin, and thus being completely useless at ranged damage, uses her action to dash close. Isella.
Just I'll also go closer, but not too close. Not that I can go too close, but whatever.
It's a shame I'm the only one who can yoink.
Yeah, I can make people move away from me, but they don't go into dangerous terrain. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Gisela could get the pulling if she used another feat.
Uh,
But
yeah. I don't have that.
no.
Does any one of them look very damaged already? Like,
Both of them are moderately damaged.
let me attack the back one then.
Okay. He has half cover from the people in front of him, so which doesn't matter in this case. 22 hits, 12 does not. Takes 9 force damage. Krivkash.
So, let's see. Let's see. And I will, I think, guiding bolt the vampire spawn on the right.
Okay.
Without thunder damage, but
13 does not hit. So guiding bolt smacks into the wall as the vampire spawn dodges.
okay, that's my turn for now.
Okay. Duncan moves further onto the stairs and vanishes out of sight. Okay. This one starts in the effect, so something needs to be rolled. And Narwhals probably needs to make evil laughter as usual. Constitution. Okay. Constitution. That is a success. 17.
Curses.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I'm personally offended.
I would be as well. It's going to use their action to dash. And then go stand outside of the effect. Logically. Lulu is going to catch up to you guys. Standing here, I suppose. Or here. Or here, whatever. This one, again, Constitution saving throw. Windows. Okay, so Constitution. Succeeds with a 19. Uses his movements to go stand outside of the effect. And then tries to attack Oriana 3 times with his longsword. Very easy again. Hits 2 times. So she takes some damage. It looks fairly healthy, and he also regains 10 hit points at the start of his turn because he has not taken any radiant damage. Next one also starts in the turn. Also regains some hit points at the start of her turn. And then makes the Constitution save.
Looks like Krivkash needs to turn on his sword and get close.
And that's 23 on the saving throw.
Jeez.
The dice do not like Darius today.
Why are these people so constitute?
It was actually critical 20, so yeah. Anyway, move a bit out of the way, and then also tries to attack Oriana with a short sword. Both of those clang into her armor. Back.
Mac, do your walloping bolts move enemies or do they just knock them down?
Knock him down. Knock him prone.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise... yeah. Ooh, actually...
You could knock the one that's in... Well, I guess that doesn't really make a difference.
1 second.
Yeah, the one that's in has enough movement to get out either way.
Yeah.
The other guy's already gone. Okay. I'm going to give myself an advantage and attack. This one looks moderately damaged, right? The one on the closest to Clink.
No, that one has not taken any damage.
Okay.
This
alright.
one has taken damage, and this one.
Okay, then I will attack the one that has not taken any damage then.
This
Actually,
one, then.
yep.
Okay.
And you know what? Yeah, just that one.
Okay.
As soon as it rolls.
11 does not hit. So, last one also regains some hit points at the start of the turn and then rolls the Constitution save. And actually fails, so roll me the damage.
Oh,
Nice.
With a 12, so that's 21 radiant damage. I fell, and 1 level of exhaustion. Okay. Going to quickly open up what exhaustion does again. One of those nice things you otherwise never know, never
Weak bug
use.
roll until 3rd level of exhaustion from memory.
First level is disadvantage on ability checks, which may or may not be useful. Okay, and then promptly moves out of this weird thing and tries to grab Oriana. Critical miss and glance of the armor. Clink.
Right, Clink recreates his spell as part, or his blade as part of the spell.
Mm-hmm. A bonus action.
Yep. Now I have some movement, so I will go here. Attack the first one there, the second one there.
Okay. One of them presumably with booming blade.
Yep, the second one was with booming blade.
Okay. Both of those hit logically. Okay, so that's 12, and the second one takes 20 and is booming bladed.
And then I'll use my movement shield back here.
Okay. Darius.
yes. If I were to make this sort of shot, can you see the detector?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would that cause that enemy to go into the zone?
Sure.
Excellent. I'm going to move around here and shoot at this one and this one because I think I can get them both in the zone.
I think the right one would just smack into the wall here.
Alright. We might be able to shove the same one in twice then. I'll have a go at it.
Okay, so this one 2 shots.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, both of those hit. So that's 16 force damage and shoved about here, I suppose.
Yes. Make your save.
Okay. Right. Saving throw. Wait, is it when they enter it or just when they...
It's both.
Right, moves into. Okay, so saving throw is 20.
Curses. Oh well. We'll have
Yeah.
another chance soon enough.
Yeah, another one on the start of the turn. Okay. And Oriana's turn comes around.
If she could just move one to the left.
Can ask her.
Yes. Please move a little bit to the left.
Okay. She does so, risking the attack of opportunity, which completely misses anyway.
Good.
Then attacks the one that you have hit with your thingy. Well, this one twice with her great sword. First one is a hit, second one misses, so he takes damage, which I take. So 22 damage in total. Gisela.
I'm pretty sure I can't shatter them without also touching her, but I'll put it on the map just to see.
I actually think you can.
Where's the shatter thing? Ah, here it is.
You can.
I'll just
Yeah.
first do the
You-
inanimate one to see.
Yeah, because
Ah,
it's
okay, I was afraid I
Nice.
was going to get one of us in it, but I'll do it like that. I'll break the animated one.
So, question. With that shatter, since it originates from outside Lulu's sphere, would Lulu's anti-magic block us from it?
yeah. Wait. Let me read it again. Spell cast from outside the barrier, so it would work on you because Gisela is inside.
Okay,
It is the location of the caster that matters.
got it. Okay.
Okay, so I do the shatter.
And what
Shatter.
what aura does Oriana have?
It gives any friendly creature within 10 feet of her has advantage on saving throws.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay, roll me a damage for that because I. Yeah. Okay, Constitution save. 1, 2, 3 Constitution saves. That's a 22, a 19, and a 12. So, left one takes 7 thunder damage, middle one takes 7 thunder damage, the right one takes a full 15 thunder damage. All of them still look relatively healthy. Okay.
Not for long.
Krivkash. Born.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll turn on my flashlight.
Okay. Give me the aura so I can see how far it goes. I think it's 20 feet.
I think it's 10 feet bright and another 10 feet dim or something like that.
Yeah, but both of those are sunlight, so.
Close tomorrow. Bright light and dim light for another 10. Okay, then I will just right there 20 feet. Settings. Click.
Okay. As you put the light on, the 3 vampire spawns seem to hiss in pain.
So I move closer. Hello, ladies, and I smack the one north of me.
Okay. Okay, 21 hits, so that's 22 damage in total. Give her a good slash. The radiant damage is marked Okay. Okay, this vampire spawn has not taken radiant damage yet, so first regains 10 hit points.
Does the
And then
sunlight count for that?
Well, hold on. And then promptly takes 20 radiant damage from the sunlight.
Okay.
Nice.
But both of those are at the start of the turn, so it doesn't trigger the first time.
I see.
I also. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. So. Definitely does not like that. So tries to attack Krivkash with a 21 to hit. Which would just hit unless anyone interferes.
How much was it?
21. So whatever you do, it would be a miss.
Yes, I will do whatever.
Okay. Take off a use of whatever, and then the second attack comes around. It's only a 15, so that smacks into Krivkash's armor. And then going to stay there. Okay, Lulu is going to stay put, I think. This one, Constitution save is a 16. So
Curses.
it's not Darius's day. So first regain hit points and then lose 20 hit points. So netto 10 hit point loss. Taken radiant damage.
Gisela, don't you have Hex?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we should try.
That doesn't
that
work on
is-
saving throws, only on ability checks.
Of course it doesn't.
Affecting saving throws would be very useful. So not many spells do it. Bane does.
Not many
Yeah.
spells are useful.
Bane I don't have anymore.
Yeah. Well, first they have to fail a saving throw to be affected by Bane. So yeah.
And I have to be very close to them, and it never
Yeah.
happens, so...
Okay, so he then attacks Krivkash 3 times with his longsword. Second one is a 22 to hit. The others 2 miss. So, is Krivkash going to take the attack or is something... Oh no, Gisela already used her reaction. Okay, Krivkash takes a reduced 9 slashing damage.
I've taken damage.
You have taken damage, and then he used... How much movement again? Where did he start here? So... 20, going to use... I'm going to stay here for now. This one is also going to attack Krivkash. With another 22 to hit, so that's another...
Doesn't that one get damage on the start of her turn?
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Which leaves her very close to death, so she's going to use... what's she going to do? Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Krivkash takes a reduced 5 slashing damage from the attack, and then she's going to run away. Taking the attack of opportunity if it hits.
That was the wrong one.
Yeah, but 9 does not hit.
Yeah.
Okay. It's your reaction. Hey, Mac.
Okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I just have to look it up really quick. Okay, I'm going to give myself advantage. Going to use scatter shot. First one on this one. Second one on this one. Going to use the Nether Swap ability for the first time to make them switch places.
Okay.
So
Let's see.
I was actually taking a look at that. So first one's going to be the one on the right.
Okay. 22 hits.
Okay, and second one is the one with the booming blade.
Okay.
And I will
24 also hits.
use sneak attack on the one with the booming blade.
Okay. Okay, so first one takes 6 piercing damage. The other one takes 18 piercing damage. And then one of them has to make a wisdom save.
Looks like wisdom saving throw, save DC 8 plus proficiency plus dex.
Which is probably 15. Okay. Wisdom save is a 21, so they stay in place. However, the right one dies from the crossbow bolt, and the left one takes the damage, but is still standing.
Aw, was hoping that get the that would have been fun.
Would have been fun, but well, it'd be like that sometimes. Okay. This one takes also 20 radiant damage at the start of the turn. Going to disengage and move away. Hey, Clink.
Alright, Clink will do the clinky thing. Move forward. Stab the one on the left. Stab the one on the right. Stab the one on the right.
Wow.
Move back. And that
Okay,
was a shit round.
you are slightly dazzled by the very bright light that Krivkash is holding, and you miss all 3 your attacks.
Plot twist: Clink is a fiend.
That's not news that Clink is a fiend. That's obvious. If it's a character class fiend, it's a different question.
Hey, Darius.
Alright, which of the two next to Krivkash looks the most
Left.
healthy?
Most healthy is the right one.
Okay. Well, I can't go far enough to target that one, so whatever. I will blast this one.
Nice.
Okay, 28 hit. Oh, so 9 force damage and presumably blue.
Directly into the fun zone.
Oh boy, the fun zone. Another Constitution save is 9, so roll me damage.
It's only 14.
14.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. It's a shame that like 35 one or whatever never landed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's 4d10, so 35 is pretty high. Okay.
Well, you did roll 2 1s on that damage roll. A 3, 9, 1, and 1.
Yeah,
Did he get the Sickening Radiance this time or not?
he did, yeah, so I indeed have to put the icon on it. There we go. Okay. And Oriana attacks that one with her great sword. Which kills it, and then moves around and uses their second attack on the other one. Also hits, so that one also takes 15 damage. Gisela.
I guess I'll attack the one that's running away. Although I don't think butterfly beam will be enough.
Which one are you attacking?
The one that's running away here.
Okay, 15 and a 22. Both of those hit, and you actually manage to nail her in the back, and she falls down onto over while running away.
Nice.
Too bad our bad guy got away.
You can still go after him, isn't he? He's probably
Yes.
not too far.
We will try that.
If you can convince Darius to drop his
Darius, will you drop?
thickening radiance instead of letting it last a full 10 minutes.
Will you, Darius? Please?
That's the question. Of course.
Maybe.
He's going to get damage out of it one way or another.
Okay, Korn.
Okay, I will smack the one right next to me for what my sword gives him. Smack.
Okay. A decent bit of smack. 19 hits, so that 19 damage in total. Definitely does not like that.
And that's my turn, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This one is dead. Lulu is fine where she is. This one takes damage at the start of his turn. Looks very close to death now. You'll also notice that there are some morph sounds coming from further away. And looking, you see that there seem to be some undead attacking some of the barricades around the market.
Okay, our guy
are-
got some backup.
Which are being held up by the guards around. Which appears to be the reason that they haven't been coming to your aid so far. Okay, so the vampire is going to attack Krivkash 3 times more. 19, a 21, and a 22 to hit. Isella should have her reaction back, so she can stop one of those if she wants.
Ah, yes, true. I didn't remember that.
I did it for you just now.
Yes, I did. I will stop that. Or which one is the
There's
lowest?
the 21 and the 22.
The one that's the 21. Right.
Okay. So you stop the 19 slashing damage, so Krivkash only takes 12, minus 3 is 9
Nice.
on the second attack.
I do not like taking damage.
Most people don't. And given the fact that he is booming bladed, he's going to stay there. Mac.
Going to go after the one that I can see. Giving myself advantage.
There's
Sneak
only one
attack.
left anyway.
Yep.
Uh, 12 does not hit. Oh, the arrow whizzes over his shoulder, clatters into the wall. Clink.
Clink will continue doing Clink things. Move forward. Flash. Flash. Stab.
Hey. After the first attack, vampire falls over and dies. but which makes your second attack hit, and then you stab his corpse once again for good measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, have to do that.
Okay, so I think this is probably a good place to end the session because it's midnight.
Yes.
Sounds good.
So next time we will head off as you start your pursuit once more.
And I'm fairly sure next time I'll have another kid, so we'll see.
Yes, well, I suppose then there's two questions we probably need to figure out. So first off, when do we do our next session? And second off, what do we do if Silver is gone? Like,
If I'm gone, someone can take over. We can kick DV because he was saying he was interested in playing.